Now, we proudly present Berwick Bulldogs football on Pop Radio. Brought to you by
Overhead Door of Berwick, Berwick Notary, State Farm Insurance, Sean Black and Lori Powell, First Keystone Community Bank, the Willows Golf Course, Journey Bank, Flick Brothers Electric in Bloomsburg, Blaze Alexander Family Buick GMC of Bloomsburg, Berwick Dental Arts, W&L Subaru Nissan and Mazda, Reds Roofing, Preferred Portables, Nespoli Jewelers, Neighborhood Fence, Ken Pollock Ford, Mayo Funeral Home, ND Accounting and Consulting, and Mason's Monogram Service.
Now, live from the studio, here's Jim Doyle and Andy Ulickney.
School is proud to present the 2024 edition of the Marching Millionaires.
Good evening, everyone. Tonight from STA Stadium in Williamsport, it's the Bulldogs against the Millionaires of Williamsport High School. I am Jim Doyle, along with Andy Ulickney. The producer of this broadcast is Ashlyn Walshaw. Well, when Berwick decided to go into the Wyoming Valley Conference Division II and move from 4A to 3A in District 2 classification, their schedule became radically different. But the powers to be at the school decided to keep two longtime rivals, one Hazleton area and the other the Millionaires of Williamsport. Tonight, the 38th meeting between these two schools. Bulldogs coming off a convincing win over Nanticoke, 41-0, to improve to 2-5 on the season. For Williamsport, they are 4-3. They won their first 4 games. They've lost their last 3. Now, that doesn't mean they're on a slide. It just means their schedule caught up to them. The last 3 weeks, they played very good teams in Selinsgrove, Jersey Shore, and last week, unbeaten Shamokin. So that's probably the reason for their 3-game losing streak. They'll be in the postseason. Bulldogs will be in the postseason. Both teams would like to be playing well going into those postseason playoffs, which come around in just a couple of weeks. Andy Ulickney with us for Bulldogs football. Andy, I think this is kind of a statement game for the Bulldogs. They've won the games they should have won over Hanover and Nanticoke area, two teams that are struggling. They've been very competitive against winning schools like Lake Lehman, Hazleton area, even Wyoming area. But they have not yet beaten a winning team. They have a chance to do that tonight and on the road at Selinsgrove. That would be a nice feeling. It would be a good barometer of progress.
Yeah, I'd agree, Jim. You know, when you first start the season, there's a lot of growing pains, new coaching staff. Experienced players. This system. That you'd like to set. You do need that over-the-hill type of win. In a Williamsport game here, a victory in this one would show Berwick's come of age.
Offensively, Ty Wilkerson has been the story of the second half of the season. Comes in this game averaging over 11 yards a carry on 39 attempts. Obviously, teams scout. They know that Ty is the man now. He will get a lot of attention. Touchdown passes of his career to 3 different receivers. Berwick has some things going offensively.
Yes, they do, Jim. You know, it's a put him in a quarterback. So who do you stop and how do you stop? Inside the tight ends, he's been amazingly impressive. Might be the best athlete we've seen. We'll see if that continues through the rest of this season into the playoffs.
Berwick's defense coming off a shutout. This is a homecoming of sorts. Berwick's defensive coordinator, R.J. Hawes, was in this Williamsport program for several years, coached under Charles Cruz, and then 1 year under their current coach, Mike Pearson. But this offense for Williamsport is scary. Now, they're going to start a ninth grader who they think is the future of this program, Tevin Williams. He started Didn't start, but he played the entire fourth quarter against that unbeaten Shamokin team. Looked good. He's a runner. He's a passer. And as opposed to last year when they couldn't run even a little bit against Berwick, 31 yards rushing in that game, they have three running backs, Jamel Bailey, Kyer Whaley, and Giovanni White, all averaging over 6.5 yards a carry. So you take that, some great wide receivers like Kyrie Bradshaw, and this Berwick defense, which has been playing well, will be challenged.
Yeah, it's going to be a very tough offense to try to slow down. And I think what we're going to see Haas do is try to go back to the 4-3 that he wanted as the base defense at the beginning of the year. But it proved a little too vulnerable in the C gaps, and they needed 8 in the box to stop the teams that came at them with the run. Here, they're worried about the pass, they're worried about the run, but they're hoping that they've improved in the secondary, they've improved up front, and the linebackers can kind of play both the run and the pass. But it will be a challenge because of the talent that the Williamsport Millionaires have.
Mike Pearson is in his third season as head coach of the Millionaires of Williamsport. We'll hear from him coming up next. You're listening to Berwick Football on Pop Radio.
Berwick Dental Arts, 9th Street in Berwick, is proud to be keeping generations of beautiful smiles across Bulldog Nation. Dr. Susan Ermish, Dr. Nathaniel Fluke, and their staff practice general and restorative dentistry, and they're open Monday through Friday. Whether you need a simple cleaning or a complicated procedure, Berwick Dental Arts will see that you have the best smile so you can be your best. Berwick Dental Arts, 9th Street in Berwick, is a proud supporter of Berwick Bulldogs football. Visit their website at berwickdentalarts.com.
This is Mike from M&M Carpet One in Bloomsburg. Is this the first time you've shopped with us? Let me explain why you should shop at a Carpet One store. We have over 1,300 store buying power. Carpet One stores sell more floor covering than the two big box stores do combined. That means not only do you get the best price, but you get to work with flooring professionals throughout the entire process, from estimates to installation. No one will give you more for your flooring dollar than M&M Carpet One in Bloomsburg.
Free checking for you and your business. No strings attached. Sounds perfect, right? First Keystone Community Bank offers free personal and business checking options with free Visa debit card, no monthly fees, no minimum balance, and no monthly qualifying requirements. Checking with no gimmicks, just what you need. They'll be celebrating 160 years of serving their communities with 19 full-service locations and convenient digital banking tools 24/7. First Keystone Community Bank. Local banking for the community we all call home. Online at fkc.bank. Equal opportunity lender, member FDIC.
The Mayo Funeral Homes, located at 110 Chestnut Street in Berwick and 77 Main Street in Chickashinny, are proud sponsors of Berwick Bulldog football. The Mayo Funeral Homes, serving all faiths, makes it easier for those you love with pre-arranged funeral counseling, insurance, and pre-financed funerals. Mayo Funeral Homes also offers expert guidance in both traditional and cremation services. Mayo Funeral Homes, perfection in every detail.
This is Berwick football coach C.J. Curry. You're listening to Bulldogs football on Pop Radio.
An absolutely perfect weather night here at STA Stadium in Williamsport as this rivalry between Berwick and Williamsport is renewed. As we mentioned in the open, Williamsport brings a 4-3 record into tonight's game. How does that record compare to head coach Mike Pearson's preseason expectations?
Kind of really similar to where we thought we were going to be. We had hoped to get off to a fast start. That part of it went a little bit better. And then we knew we were going to hit a stretch of excellent teams. We're kind of in the middle of that right now. So we're just working through that, but kind of very similar to where we hoped it would be. It's just really exciting to be going through this time with the kids.
Last year, when we saw your team play against Berwick, your team was struggling to run the football. You were pretty much a one-dimensional team. I think you only had like 31 rushing yards against Berwick. Are you a better running team this season?
We are, and at this time last year, I think we had 3 14-year-olds starting on the line. So we're thankful those guys have grown up, and we are able to run the ball much better this year than we were able to last year.
Who's doing the running for you?
A lot of the running's being done by Jamel Bailey, by Giovanni White, by Kyer Whaley, and now we're starting to get some production out of our quarterback position too.
Well, now you take on a Berwick team that's under a first-year head coach with a familiar name, last name, C.J. Curry. What do you know about them? What concerns you?
Watching film and preparing to play them, I feel like Coach Curry in his first year is really bringing his experience back home from Selinsgrove. I think he is really making some great decisions in terms of his offensive scheme. The defensive toughness looks very, very familiar. But what he's doing with formations and maximizing his personnel, I think he's doing a fantastic job in his first year back home.
That's Mike Pearson, now in his third season as head coach of the Millionaires of Williamsport. His career marked 14-15. They bring a 4-3 record into tonight's game against the Bulldogs. Mike Pearson has a great coaching background. His most recent, before coming to Williamsport, was as an assistant like Homing. He was also a head coach at Yucca Valley in California, head coach at South Williamsport. He was the sprint football coach at Chestnut Hill College, and he was also an assistant at 2 Division II programs, Lock Haven and Mansfield. Williamsport against Berwick. We'll check the starting lineups when we return. You're listening to Berwick Football on Pop Radio.
At Journey Bank, we believe your checking account should do more for you. That's why we offer Bazing Checking. With Bazing Checking, enjoy cell phone protection, roadside assistance, and savings both in-store and online at over 300,000 local and national retailers.
Bazing Checking not only helps me save money with deals and discounts, it also protects my cell phone and provides peace of mind when I'm on the road.
Bazing Checking. It's banking that looks out for you. Switch to Bazing Checking at Journey Bank today. Visit journeybank.com or stop by any of our 20 community office locations. Journey Bank. Let's get you there.
It won't be long before tax time rolls around, so remember to visit Michael Daddio CPA at ND Accounting and Consulting for your income tax needs. ND Accounting and Consulting handles both business and individual taxes, as well as offering a variety of accounting services, including payroll, auditing, and bookkeeping. For tax and accounting services, look for Michael Daddio CPA at ND Accounting and Consulting with 2 locations, 214 Pine Street in Berwick and 5929 Main Road in Sweet Valley.
Berwick Dental Arts, 9th Street in Berwick, is proud to be keeping generations of beautiful smiles across Bulldog Nation. Dr. Susan Ermish, Dr. Nathaniel Fluke, and their staff practice general and restorative dentistry, and they're open Monday through Friday. Whether you need a simple cleaning or a complicated procedure, Berwick Dental Arts will see that you have the best smile so you can be your best. Berwick Dental Arts, 9th Street in Berwick, is a proud supporter of Berwick Bulldogs football. Visit their website at berwickdentalarts.com.
When you're shopping for insurance, you might say, "What? Huh?"
I'm so over this.
But what you really need to say is something that could actually help.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
When you get a local State Farm agent, they can help make it easy and help you choose the coverage you need. Plus, they're available online, over the phone, or even in person.
I'm so into this.
Visit your Bloomsburg State Farm agent, Sean Black, at insurebloomsburg.com.
This is Berwick football coach CJ Curry. You're listening to Bulldogs football on Pop Radio.
Weekend number 8 of the 10-week regular season kicking off across the state of Pennsylvania tonight here at STA Stadium in Williamsport. It's the Bulldogs against the Millionaires of Williamsport High School. Here's the starting lineup offensively for Berwick. At the tight end, number 9, Gabe Decker. He is a 6'3", 190-pound 9th grader. 7 catches on the season for 75 yards. At the left tackle, number 56, J.J. Leonard, 6 foot, 255, a junior. At the left guard, number 70, Draven Geiger, 5'11", 275, a junior. Gavin Jones is the starting center for the Dogs. He wears number 51. He is 5'8", 215, a senior. At the right guard is a big junior, number 62, Matt Gordner, 6 foot, 280 pounds. And the right tackle is number 64, Chase Shuckers, 6'2", 265, a senior. At one wide receiver position, number 7, Julian Howie. He is 6'2", 185 pounds, a senior. 7 receptions, 123 yards, and a touchdown. That touchdown, the first of his career, came last week in that victory over Nanticoke. Another wide receiver will be number 13, Alex Estrella. He's 5'10", 175, a junior. A couple of catches for 20 yards. He also has a 59-yard touchdown run at Wyoming area. The quarterback is Billy Hansen. Started the season as a wide receiver. They moved him to quarterback, starting with week 4 in the Hazelton area game, and he's done very, very well. Rushing, 29 carries, 130 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He was terrific passing the football last week against Nanticoke. threw 3 touchdown passes, all in the second quarter, to 3 different receivers. Billy Hansen, 6'1", 175, a senior. At a running back spot, number 2, Gavin Galusha, 5'10", 170-pound sophomore. Started the season very, very well. Then he had the concussion, had to sit out a couple of weeks. Returned to action in a big way last week, 12 carries, 85 yards on the season, averaging just under 5 yards a carry on 66 attempts. The fullback, we'll see a couple of them, including number 90, Aiden George. He is 6'1", 220 pounds, a sophomore. And then, of course, there's Ty Wilkerson. He will be a quarterback in the Wildcat spot. He will be a wide receiver. He will be a running back. He is a threat. 6'2", 190-pound junior. Has caught 11 passes for 104 yards and a touchdown. But it is in the running game where he has been spectacular. 445 yards rushing and 6 touchdowns on 39 attempts, averaging over 11 yards a carry. Those are the starters offensively for the Bulldogs under C.J. Curry in his first season as head coach. They come in with a record of 2-5. They're rushing the football very, very well, passing not so much at least until last week. For Williamsport, they won't use a tight end on a regular basis. When they do, it'll be number 85, Jaden Ransom. He is a 6', 195-pound senior. Cordoza Minor is the starting left tackle. Number 75, 6'4", 220, a sophomore. The left guard is number 65, Jackson Thompson, 6'1", 250, a sophomore. Owen Newcomer, number 64, is the starting center, 5'10", 235, a sophomore. So 3 sophomores in that starting offensive front for the Millionaires. The right guard is number 55, Caleb Way, 6', 220, a junior. The right tackle is number 79, Brady Neiman, 6'2", 220, a junior. So all underclassmen, tackle to tackle along the front for Williamsport. Their wide receiver is terrific. He wears number 3. He's Kyreek Bradshaw, 6'1", 165, a senior. Last year, 42 receptions, 406 yards, and 6 touchdowns, but then he tore his ACL in week 9, and it's pretty impressive that he has come back this season at all, much less as effectively as he has. 23 receptions, 4 of them for touchdowns. The quarterback is quite a story. He is a 9th grader. He is Tevin Williams, terrific athlete, 6'3", 155 pounds, but this will be his initial start of what they hope will be a terrific high school career for him. The running backs, they have 3. Jamel Bailey, who averages 6.9 yards a carry. Kair Whaley, who averages 6.6 yards a carry. And Giovanni White, who averages 7.3 yards a carry. So have that running game going. Another wide receiver, in addition to Kyreek Bradshaw, Zion Hughes. Will also see Trey Damschroeder and Aiden Everett. Millionaires of Williamsport making their way on this to the near side of the field. Red jerseys, white pants, white numerals, black helmets. Across the way, Bulldogs of Berwick, and they're all whites with the blue jerseys, making their way onto the field. So it's the Millionaires against the Bulldogs. Keys to tonight's game, Andy Lickney.
Well, Jim, we talked about Berwick and their running game evolving as the course of the year's gone, and boy, it's peaking. It's peaking at the right time because Williamsport is really struggling against the run in its last 3 games. Now, granted, tremendous opposition in the last 3, but they're giving up over 300 yards rushing a game. So we're going to see sort of a 3-headed monster at running back. Gavin Galusha in the first weeks proved to be an extremely strong running back. And then you mentioned a concussion. Enter Billy Hansen at quarterback. They felt they needed a change. They needed running from a different position. And he was just tremendous in his opening weeks with sort of street yard running. Start one way, break the other. He'd start one way. He'd have nice cutbacks. And he had some great games. And then all of a sudden, the development of Ty Wilkerson. We knew the speed. We saw jet sweeps. We saw all those happening. And we're going to have to see how it develops in the course of this one. Jim, I think we're getting ready for the anthem. So how about take us to a break?
The Keys coming up after this. You're listening to Bulldogs Football on Pop Radio.
Are you on the market for a new set of wheels? Once you find it, whether it's a functional grocery getter or a midlife crisis hot rod, the tag and title experts at Berwick Notary in Berwick are open 6 days a week, so you can be rest assured you'll be on the road and legal in no time. Berwick Notary can transfer a title, register an ATV or any kind of vehicle, and they're the only notary in Columbia County that registers boats. Berwick Notary's been serving the Bulldog community for over 40 years, and they proudly support the Berwick Bulldogs. Check out their Facebook page and go Dogs.
Family tradition is the foundation of Nespoli Jewelers, a family tradition started by Joseph Nespoli and continued by his grandson Jonathan. For 3 generations, Nespoli Jewelers have prided themselves on mixing fine with fashion. Jonathan can customize your engagement ring and wedding bands, design a unique piece of jewelry inspired by you, or simply help you find an affordable gift. Service, quality, creativity. Nespoli Jewelers. Yesterday's principles, today's creations. East Front Street in Berwick and online at nespolijewelers.com.
Be moved in a Mazda from W&L. Jump in with the whole family for a night of memories in the 3rd row Mazda CX-90 plug-in hybrid, offering 1.9% financing for 72 months.
Or choose bold utility in the all-new CX-70. You will elevate your driving experience with a comfortable cabin and expansive cargo capacity. Right now, W&L Mazda is offering 2.9% for 72 months.
See us off Route 11 in Northumberland and online at WNLMazda.com.
Financing available to well-qualified applicants only. Offer cannot be combined with any other discounts or incentives other than loyalty or military offers. Offers end 10/31/24. See W&L Mazda for complete offer details.
Red's Roofing, the roofing ninjas of Berwick. The roofing experts for all of our listening area. With over 30 years experience and great rates, why go anywhere else when Red's Roofing will get the job done right for your roofing, decks, and siding, specializing in metal roofs, rubber roofs, and shingles. Most of the work is done in one day. Red's Roofing, the roofing ninjas, now located in Dushore and also serving Bradford and Sullivan counties with owner Harry Titus, a supporter of the Berwick football team and St. Jude Children's Hospital. Call 570-752-4351.
W234BH West Hazelton at 94.7, WBWX W242CY Berwick at 96.3, W282CO Bloomsburg at 104.3, and W288CF Danville at 105.5. Your home for Berwick Bulldogs football is Pop Radio, a Seven Mountains media station. WHLM Bloomsburg.
Captains marching toward the center of the field for the coin toss to get things started tonight. Andy, the rest of the keys.
Yeah, we mentioned a bit of a 3-headed monster might be the game plan in the running game, Jim. You know, we're seeing a healthy Gavin Galusha back. How do you want to use him? We see the open field misdirection of quarterback Billy Hansen. How do you want to employ his talents? And, of course, the extremely strong developing speed and power of superstar in the making and Ty Wilkerson. They're going to go against the Williamsport defense that runs a 3-4. That's only 7 in the box. Usually like to see 8 to try to stop a running team. We'll see if they adjust. They have 6 two-way players, so it's a defense that can wear itself down a little bit. We've seen that happen in the last 3 games. They were very vulnerable to the run in the last 3 games. We mentioned giving up over 300 yards rushing. But again, to the likes of Selinsgrove, Jersey Shore, and Shamokin. Flip it around, the Williamsport offense, hey, what's their game plan? They're changing to a very talented but young quarterback and freshman, Tevin Williams. He's 6'3", he's 155, and he's played a lot. He was a receiver with 10 catches for 111 yards. He does some rushing at quarterback, averaging 6.2 yards a carry. Limited passing, but the team has great receivers. Expect him to keep that going. They have confidence in him. The running backs are strong, as you mentioned. Jamel Bailey, Kyer Whaley, averaging close to 7 yards a carry, and you can add in another one in Giovanni White. He has 7.3 yards a carry. So the 3-4 defense that R.J. Haas intends to use in this game, we'll see how it stacks up to stop the running game and the talented passing game.
Williamsport has an excellent kicker in Parker Johnson. He'll kick off. Millionaires won the toss, deferred to the second half. Berwick moving from our left to our right in a game that is underway. A line drive kick will be fielded down at the 7-yard line. On the return is Ty Wilkerson trying to get outside left, and he is brought down the open field at about the 27, maybe the 28-yard line. Berwick defensively expected to go with Gabe Decker, J.J. Leonard, Chase Shuckers, and Skylar Neville across the front. Shiloh Escobar, Gavin Jones, and Everett Snyder at the linebackers. Ty Wilkerson and Braden Schaefer at the corners. Alex Estrella and Julian Howie will be the safeties.
Curious to see how this works out offensively, Jim. A lot of emerging talent. How do you divvy up the touches on that football?
Williamsport digging in defensively. We'll give you their defense right after this play as the call goes to Wilkerson from a running back spot. Lots of running off the right side. He's over the 40, ridden out of bounds at the 43-yard line. Millionaires, Andy mentioned the 3-4. We expect to see Brady Needham, Sam Allison, and Caleb Way as the front three. Jaden Ransom and Aiden Turner as the outside linebackers. Jamel Bailey and Lucas Naughton inside. The corners, Samir Williams and Zion Hughes. Aiden Everett and Giovanni White are the corners. Big hole for Wilkerson and a 15-yard gain.
They set Matt Gordner at a wingback, Jim. Pulled him to kick out the defensive end, and that opened it up for Tymere Wilkinson.
And they're doing the same thing. He's going to the other side. Wilkerson gets it again, trying to get outside left. This time, Williamsport's all over the play. He'll lose yardage back to the 40.
And maybe they sensed the reverse of the play coming their way, and this defensive end held his own on contained. Secondary and linebackers reacted very well. About a half a yard gained.
They mark it at the 44-yard line. So it'll be second down. We'll call it 9 for the Bulldogs. Hansen in the pistol. Again, Gordon is on a wing to the right. This time he does not come in motion. The call goes to the right. Wilkerson looking for some room. Not much there. He gets what he can, which is over the 45 to about the 47-yard line.
Yeah, unique look. These coaches don't always share what they're going to do with us, Jim. In no way did we expect to see this big number 62 Matt Gordner as a wingback, but on the first 3 plays, that's what we had. Gained a little bit more on that than I thought, Jim, about 4 yards.
Third down and 5. Bulldogs from their 48. First third down situation again. Gordner again in motion, right to left. Hansen's got to try to run behind him. The ball is loose. The scramble is on at the 47-yard line. And Williamsport has the football.
Jim, I'm not sure what happened. We saw that big wingback going in motion, and I wonder if the ball hit him. I don't think it ever got back to Billy Hansen. I think he started chasing the ball as it got kicked toward the Berwick sideline. Matt Gordner may have bumped into it on the way, and Williamsport will recover it there with excellent field position.
Yeah, it appears that it hit him in motion. So an early turnover by Berwick. Williamsport takes over at the Berwick 47-yard line. And we'll see the 9th grade quarterback, Tevin Williams, who has 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. First snap for the 9th grader. Out of the gun. Has a low snap, rolls left, Berwick in pursuit. He's hit. He fumbles the football at the 43-yard line of the Millionaires. Looks like he was able to get on it.
Yes, he was. He had to go down. He's 6'3", Jim, so when he goes down to his ankles for a low shotgun snap, it's a problem. He starts rolling to his left, the single receiver side, and Shiloh Escobar was really penetrating quickly. Then before you know it, 2 more Berwick players. One swats the ball free, but Williamsport able to come up with it, but a loss of about 12.
Second and long for the Millionaires. 3 receivers to the right. 1 to the left. Tough start for the 9th grader. Tevin Williams. He has the snap. He's back to throw. Big pass rush. Gets the pass downfield. Got a man. It's going to be a touchdown. The 20, the 15, the 10, the 5, and Tyreek Bradshaw is in for the score. So on the second snap as a starter, 9th grader Tevin Williams goes 57 yards to Tyreek Bradshaw.
Shook off the problems on the opening play, stood tall in the pocket, took it, dropped back an extra 2 or 3 yards from shotgun, and then rifled it deep downfield. Berwick had coverage, but the man still had a step, and then he was able to kick away, did Tyreek Bradshaw for the score.
Extra point attempt coming from Parker Johnson. Snap. Placement. Kick is up, and the kick is good. Time out the field. 9:26 to go. Opening quarter. Williamsport 7. Berwick nothing. You're listening to Bulldogs football on Pop Radio.
Neighbor Fence Company has fencing for where you want it, serving Columbia, Montour, and Luzerne counties. Neighbor Fence provides top-quality residential and commercial fencing, vinyl, chain link, wood, aluminum, and ornamental fencing, plus vinyl railing and specialty products. Neighbor Fence Company, 1140 State Route 239 in Wapwallopen. Call 570-752-4423 or visit them online at neighborfencecompany.com. Neighbor Fence Company is a proud sponsor of local youth athletic teams.
This is Berwick football coach C.J. Curry. You're listening to Bulldogs football on Pop Radio.
Tough start for Berwick. Great start for a 9th grade quarterback, Tevin Williams. Got sacked on the first play, and on the next play, he threw a beautiful pass to Bradshaw. 57 yards for the score, and Williamsport has a lead of 7-0. And Parker Johnson will kick it off. Johnson's kick, low line drive kick again. This will be fielded by Wilkerson. No, he's going to let it go and hope it goes in the end zone, and it does, but barely.
Oh, talk about mistakes in the opening, Jim. Berwick had one kicked away from them. Williamsport recovers it. Then Berwick makes a big defensive play as Williamsport struggles with a shotgun snap. They fumble it but recover. And then, boom, right after that, the big 59-yard touchdown pass for Williamsport. Now the kickoff, and will it go in the end zone or won't it? Boy, he was ready to have to fall on that on the half-yard line if it just didn't get that one last roll.
So Berwick's second possession, they have it at their own 20-yard line as they move from our left to our right. Trailing in the early going 7-0. Slot to the left side. Wilkerson will take the snap out of the Wildcat. Again, Gordner in motion, leads the blocking for Wilkerson, looking for room, nothing there, tries to cut it outside, makes a dandy move, and ends up getting about 6 yards out of it.
Oh, 6 yards, and you wonder where he's going to, lose yardage from about 3 or 4. He takes the shotgun in Wildcat and goes to his left, but it's stuffed up, breaks to the right, dodges a man in the backfield. Then he stiff arms and steps away from one more to gain that 5 yards.
And
Not
Andy,
the easy way.
I didn't catch the number of the Williamsport player, but someone kept their ground when he reversed it.
Yeah.
And had he not done that, that would have been a huge gain. 2nd and 5, Bulldogs from their 25. Wilkerson takes the snap off the left side, looking for running room, has some great blocking. He gets over the 35 for a first down.
Yep. And again, they're still using that big 62 Matt Gordner in the backfield, sometimes as a fullback now. But everyone hit the point of attack, the A gap on the left side. I'm assuming that we're seeing Nico Lonzinski filling in Gordner's spot. They just drove that wonderfully, moved the Williamsport defense back.
11 yards on the carry by Ty Wilkerson. First down, Berwick at their 36. Wilkerson, the direct snap again, and he has running room into the secondary over midfield to the 45 and 40, the 35, and written down inside the Williamsport 30-yard line.
Boy, Samir Williams was able to trip him up as a very, very deep safety. But nothing real fancy, powering back up the middle, and he's using his power to get through the line of scrimmage and then breaking tackles at the linebacker level and really extending the run.
What a start to this game for Ty Wilkerson. 37 yards on that carry. 1st and 10 Bulldogs at the Williamsport 27. Hansen's back in there. He gives off to Galusha, and Gavin Galusha gets his first carry off the right side. Gets to about the 23-yard line.
Yeah, give a little breather to Ty Wilkerson to catch his breath after those sprints. He has 73 yards now on his 6 carries. We'll see him back in there, but vary the offense a little bit. Galusha there does a nice first down run for 3 or 4 yards.
2nd down and 7. Berwick trailing 7-0. 7.5 minutes to go opening quarter. Threatening at the Williamsport 24-yard line. Estrella wide to the left. Howie wide right. Gordner goes in motion again. Give to Galusha. He's buried back at the 30-yard line. Absolutely no one blocked number 5, Jamel Bailey.
Came right on through, Jim, a designated blitz, and he hit Galusha before Galusha was even touching the ball. Now lose the yardage plus another yard that he had gained on first down.
Fortunate not to lose the ball.
Or his head.
At the 29-yard line. Berwick now facing 3rd down and 12. Howie wide left. Estrella in a slot to that side. Gordner a little confused about where he should be. Checks with the quarterback. Now sets down there. Play action. Back to throw is Hansen. He is going to be sacked. The ball is loose. The scramble is on the 37-yard line. And let's see. Williamsport has it. 2 turnovers for Berwick on their first 2 possessions.
Samuel Allison coming up with it, but it was just sloppy ball handling. You mentioned that that big wing back in there that we saw Matt Gordner asking where he should go. He crossed with the back in the backfield to get in front of the blocking on the semi-roll to the left, but there was a little collision in there. Not great protection and not good ball control by Billy Hansen. He was handling it very loosely and dropped it easily.
Millionaires' second possession. They have the 7-0 lead and they have 3 receivers to the left. Berwick showing blitz. Tevin Williams out of the gun. Long count as the Stepneys back and gives it on a draw play, and they will lose yardage to the 35-yard line.
Good read by Berwick on the inside, Jim. J.J. Leonard had him wrapped up, and there was another man also in the area, so they'll lose 2 yards on that attempted run.
2nd down and 12, Millionaires. First time they had it. They had a big loss on 1st down, and then the long touchdown pass by Williams to Bradshaw. Tyree Bradshaw is wide to the right. 3 receivers to the left. Whaley is the running back. Williams has the snap, and he's back to throw. Big pass rush. He gets away. He's on the way into the secondary. It has a 1st down out at the 49-yard line. Well, that's what they see in this youngster. The ability to not only throw the ball as they did in their first possession, but run it as well.
Yeah, eluding people, Jim. Tackles that should have been made. He's able to get around those people who kind of, just don't make real good attempts to square up on him. Skylar Neville eventually does pull him down.
15 yards on the carry by Tevin Williams. 1st down, Williamsport at midfield. Jamel Bailey enters as the running back. They'll use 3. And a flag down on the play. The officiating crew for this game, if I could find the sheet, and I can't.
And I don't have it, so you can't blame me. Blew away.
Charles Resser is the referee. The umpire is Troy Hickman. Richard Meese is the head linesman. Line judge is Lincoln Kaufman. Sean Moore is the back judge. Steve Krasuki is the field judge.
And no penalty after all of that, Jim. They had a little confab and apparently waved the flag off. 1st and 10.
3 receivers to the left. Bailey gets the call, tries the left side, will not get to the line of scrimmage.
J.J. Leonard again reading that little bit of a delay action in the backfield. Able to snuff it out. They'll lose 1 yard.
They mark at the 49-yard line. 2nd down and 11, Millionaires. Williams trotted to the sideline to get the play call. Now he's got 3 receivers to the left. Again, Bradshaw to the right by himself.
These 3 are rather together in a bit of a banana bunch.
Williams, long count. Back to throw. Looking to the far side. Diving attempt incomplete. Well, that's great coverage on the far side. Intended for Bradshaw. And Ty Wilkerson was all over him. It's going to bring up a 3rd down and 11. I'll tell you what, Andy, they're not easing this youngster in. They're having him do stuff.
No, sometimes he can be a very mature freshman. He has the size at 6'3". He'll certainly add more weight. But they're comfortable in his natural ability after the opening, drop, where he got dropped for 12 yards and dropped the football. He's looked very strong.
3rd down and 11. Millionaires from their 49. Bradshaw wide to the right. 3 receivers to the left, and rolling to his left is Williams. Big pass rush, gets the pass away, incomplete. Boy, Bulldogs getting good heat That time it was Gabe Decker. Decker coming off a tremendous game last week against Nanticoke. 7 tackles, 6 for loss. And the week before that, he had 9 tackles against a very good Wyoming area team. So talk about 9th graders. There's a really good one.
Oh, yeah. In fact, the whole defense has been playing very aggressively at the line of scrimmage. Seems they're shooting the gaps most plays, catching draw plays, and pressuring the quarterback.
Parker Johnson does all the kicking for the Millionaires.
Where they respect his leg. Look how deep that punt returner is, Jim.
He's back at the 34 is Parker Johnson. And a flag down.
We've been noticing how long till they get their snaps, Jim. Is it a delay of game or is it a timeout?
No, it's definitely a flag.
Yeah, they're moving back. Williamsport is 5 yards. And Ty Wilkerson, who's way back on the 10, isn't moving up any, Jim. I don't think a professional punter puts it that far. We'll see.
Ball back at the Williamsport 44-yard line. Long count again. Snap is a good one. And the kick is away. It's Julian Howie who's deep for Berwick. He lets it go. Did it hit a Berwick player? Williamsport says they have it, and they do. A 3rd turnover by Berwick in the first half. Andy, there's one of your big gripes.
Well, you know, players coming back to block need to be alarmed. The kick return man needs to scream, clear, clear. You have some, you yell bulldog or something that's a code to get out of the way. Run to the sides, get out of the way. Apparently they didn't hear anything. They're heading back to block. They should have seen that Howie was moving to the side and wasn't going to go anywhere near anything. They too should have cleared. I agree, Jim. A mistake that should not happen.
Now the officials are conferring. This is a long time. This can only be good news for Berwick because otherwise Williamsport's going to have it at the Bulldogs 16-yard line.
They're conferring back near where the punt occurred. There was a hold at the line of scrimmage. That means they'll re-kick this.
Wow, huge break, Berwick.
I didn't see the flag, but you're right, Jim. And again, one of those mental mistakes, I'd have the whole team running the stadium steps about 50 times every time that would happen. Let it sink in to get away from bouncing punts.
So the line of scrimmage was the 44-yard line of Williamsport. And Berwick narrowly avoids a 3rd turnover in this opening quarter, which has 4:04 remaining. And Williamsport leading 7-0. What a long time to talk about this walk-off.
Still talking about it. And I would think the hold was near the line of scrimmage unless it was one of the up-backs.
I thought I saw a personal foul.
Oh.
Which would explain 15 rather than the 10. And that is because it's back to the 29-yard line.
So probably while the ball was in the air and they're kind of disengaging from the block, something happened that caused the 15-yard penalty and the re-kick. Boy, as a coach for Williamsport, I'd want to know what went on that play, who's to blame, and I'd give the guy a talking to. Mike Pearson, I'm sure, will find out who was to blame.
Parker Johnson back at the Williamsport 13-yard line to do the kicking. Gets the kick away, not particularly long. And it's out of bounds near midfield. Boy, Berwick not only got a great break with that penalty, not losing the ball at their own 16-yard line, but even if they had not lost the ball, they were going to have poor field position. Now, terrific field position.
Yeah, and I think you got to go back to the game plan that was working the best. They were running Ty Wilkerson for 6 plays for 73 yards. I think from this spot at the Williamsport 45-yard line or so, you just feed him the ball till he gets in the end zone and ties this one up.
16 yards on the punt by Parker Johnson gives Berwick a first down at the Millionaire 47. 3:59 remaining in this opening quarter. Wilkerson will take the snap, and he'll follow Everett Snyder off the left side, looking for running room, breaks through one man and another, and is very close to a first down off the left side. Very patient running that time by Ty Wilkerson.
Yeah, Aiden George was leading the way, and he kicked out the man who had contained. So you shoot it inside, wide on the C gap, and then hit to the sideline. They're going to move the change, Jim.
10 yards on the carry.
Yeah, good, strong, and smart running, as you mentioned, waiting for the block to develop.
1st and 10 Bulldogs at the Millionaire 37. Wilkerson will take the snap. He keeps the ball himself up the middle, running hard. He gets to the 31-yard line. Well, he's a speedster, but he can run between the tackles. He's 190 pounds.
He certainly can, and about 5 yards into the run, he decided to go airborne and try to get an extra 2-3 yards on the leap. They'll give him 7 on that run. Great first down play.
2nd down call. Berwick at the Williamsport 31. Billy Hansen back in there. He's under center. Wilkerson is the lone running back behind him. There's a blocking back to the left. Wilkerson gets the call off the left side, has the first down and then some. He gets inside the 25 down to the 24. Another 7-yard carry for Ty Wilkerson, who is having a monster first quarter.
Yeah, 97 yards at this point. He's following Aiden George, the fullback, in almost an I formation. Aiden George gets the contained man, fronts him nicely. They're able to run inside of that block, and Ty Wilkerson looks strong.
He now gets a breather as Berwick faces a first down at the Williamsport 24. Call goes to Galusha off the right side. Gavin Galusha will get to perhaps the 21-yard line.
And Giovanni White squaring up on him in the linebacker area. Got about 2 yards with a hard run. Berwick has decided to leave that wing back that they were going with, and Matt Gordon, and put him back into his right guard position and go with the more standard look with the fullback being Aiden George.
2nd down and 7. Galusha, the lone running back. Fake to him. Hansen keeps it. Billy Hansen runs over a tackler down to the 11-yard line. Strong run by Hansen for a Berwick first down.
Yeah, Aiden Everett is the man who tried to catch him. He was flat foot, wasn't going to get Aiden, the quarterback going left or right, and Billy Hansen. But he then takes the shoulder and gets driven back as they move the change yet again.
10 yards on the run by Hansen. Berwick first down at the Williamsport 11 as we go under 2 minutes to go in the opening quarter. Bulldogs trailing 7-0.
Deep disciplined football, no penalties. Keep using the power here.
Wilkerson back in there. Takes the snap, tries the left side, breaks the tackle, and another, keeps those legs churning. He's inside the 5, still on his feet, still moving very close to the goal line. What an effort by Ty Wilkerson.
Well, he was stopped around the 5, fought to the 4, fought to the 3, fought to the 2, and maybe at the 1, Jim. He really kept things going even when there were 2, 3, 4 tacklers on top of him.
And it is 10 yards and a first and goal from the 1.
107 yards on the quarter for Ty Wilkerson.
Berwick 1 yard away from a chance to tie it here in the first with 1:20 to go. Hansen under center. Hands it to Wilkerson off the right side, goes in, standing up. Great blocking off that right side. A Berwick touchdown.
Yeah, great blocking. They just drove their people off the ball. He takes it, bends it outside of the guard, Matt Gordon, who was at his guard position, finds the B gap outside and goes through standing. Strong running drive.
Caleb Yost will come on to try to tie it. Ashton Smith does the holding. Aiden George will do the snapping. 47-yard touchdown drive by the Bulldogs. And a chance to tie it up. Smith. Snap. Placement. Kick is up, and the kick is good. Timeout in the field. 1:13 to go opening quarter. Williamsport 7. Berwick 7. You're listening to Bulldogs football on Pop Radio.
Mason's Monogramming has the largest selection of Bulldog items in Berwick. Family owned with more than 35 years experience. And new Bulldog wear for every age, including t-shirts, sweatshirts, jackets, polos, hats, and more. They even make online fundraising easy for you. Stop in today to discuss your next fundraising opportunity. You can also shop at masonsmonogramming.com for their new inventory and select in-person pickup or shipping right to you. Follow their Instagram at Mason's Monogramming for their latest new items. Mason's Monogram Service in Berwick. Let them personalize for you.
This is Berwick football coach C.J. Curry. You're listening to Bulldogs football on Pop Radio.
In the opening quarter, Berwick has tied it up on a 7-play, 47-yard scoring drive. Ty Wilkerson, a couple of great efforts along the way, and he takes it in. From the 1-yard line for the score, Caleb Yost with the extra point. We are tied at 7. So the Bulldogs get a break on a penalty when it appeared they had turned it over for the third time in this quarter. And then the short punt by Parker Johnson. And Wilkerson just looked powerful on that drive. We know about his speed, but we saw his power on that drive.
Yeah, the original game plan, we were looking at a wingback and Matt Gordner, and they decided to abandon that in most of this drive, go with the standard fullback and Hayden George. More simplistic type of offense, and it worked very effectively. No mistakes.
Here's the kickoff. It's a short kick taken at the 26-yard line, and the return out to the 36. Ashton Smith makes the stop for the Bulldogs on Kyer Whaley.
Yeah, Whaley took it. They kicked it kind of across the formation from the far hash over here to the near hash up in the air. Defense got down, prevented much of a return.
So we're tied at 7, 1:08 remaining in this opening quarter on just a gorgeous night for high school football here at STA Stadium in Williamsport. Couldn't ask for a better night on October the 11th as the Millionaires come out with a slot to the right and a wide receiver to the left. Williams hands off, and Berwick's all over the play. Chase Shuckers makes the stop. No gain, maybe even lost a little.
Yeah, and J.J. Leonard yet again, Jim. Third time he's been deep in the backfield making hits. They'll lose 2 yards on that one.
Back to the 34-yard line. 2nd down and 12 for the Millionaires.
Berwick's been getting penetration out of the front 4. Sometimes blitzing some linebackers. They've been meeting people in the backfield, causing disruption.
A running back to either side of Tevin Williams who awaits the shotgun snap, and he has it, and he's going to keep it himself. Looks for some running room, and not much there. Gets back to the original line of scrimmage. No, just to the 35. So it's going to be 3rd down and 11. That is, in all probability, the last play of this opening quarter. Berwick 7, Williamsport 7. We'll be back with the second period. You're listening to Bulldogs football on Pop Radio.
The Mayo Funeral Homes, located at 110 Chestnut Street in Berwick and 77 Main Street in Chickashinny, are proud sponsors of Berwick Bulldog football. The Mayo Funeral Homes, serving all faiths, makes it easier for those you love with pre-arranged funeral counseling, insurance, and pre-financed funerals. Mayo Funeral Homes also offers expert guidance in both traditional and cremation services. Mayo Funeral Homes, perfection in every detail.
Red's Roofing, the roofing ninjas of Berwick. The roofing experts for all of our listening area. With over 30 years experience and great rates, why go anywhere else when Red's Roofing will get the job done right for your roofing, decks, and siding. Specializing in metal roofs, rubber roofs, and shingles. Most of the work is done in one day. Red's Roofing, the roofing ninjas. Now located in Dushore and also serving Bradford and Sullivan counties with owner Harry Titus, a supporter of the Berwick football team and St. Jude Children's Hospital. Call 570-752-4351.
Score tied at 7. And Ashlyn, if you are listening, we need some indication that we are on the air because we're not getting that indication. 7-all. Williamsport will have it. Moving from our left to our right this second quarter. They have the ball at their own 35-yard line, facing 3rd down and 11. 3 receivers to the right. Bradshaw, who caught that long touchdown pass. Wide to the left. Wilkerson on him. Back to throw. Williams rolling right. Goes long downfield, and it's intercepted. No, it's out of the hands of Julian Howie, who went up, made a good play on the ball, just couldn't bring it down. There is a flag down behind the line of scrimmage. That'll be declined. It was holding against the Millionaires.
Yeah, he rolled out of the pocket after pressure came, rolled to his right, bought himself some time, then heaved it downfield. But defender and receiver both in the area, ball underthrown, and as you mentioned, could have been intercepted, Jim. But really, Berwick should come out better after this punt.
Well, remember, Parker Johnson had just a 16-yard punt the last time. That led to a Berwick scoring drive of 47 yards and tied at 7. Julian Howie back in single safety for the Bulldogs. Johnson awaits at his 21. Good snap. Kick is away, and again, it's not very good. Does take a Williamsport bounce, though, and will roll dead about the Berwick 35-yard line. So the Bulldogs get it when their offense has been in gear in this opening half, which has 11:51 to go, score tied at 7.
And Berwick is getting pressure on the punter and forcing these punts to go off. I think if they really committed, they'd be blocking these punts, Jim. They had 2 people in, and they kind of shy away at the last minute. You're afraid of roughing that punter.
So Bulldogs have it with the score tied at 7. As Everett Snyder is in as a blocking back. He'll lead the way for Wilkerson, who tries to sweep the right side and does so. Over midfield to the 45 to 40 and still on his feet down to the 35-yard line. Wilkerson got the corner for another huge gain.
Samir Williams eventually running him out of bounds. Everett Snyder has the block, but he's not kicking him out. He's not turning him in. But during that collision, Ty Wilkerson's able to turn the speeds and get around to the sideline. And then he just runs down there with the speed, and that'll give him a comfortable 100-yard game now.
28 yards on the carry. Wilkerson gets it again. And this time, short yardage, but maybe about 4 to the 33.
136 prior to that run. Again, we're early in the game. He'll stretch that for 4, Jim. Make it 140 yards now.
Second down call coming. Berwick at the Williamsport 32-yard line. Aiden George on a wing to the right.
Gavin Galusha, the setback.
Hansen under center. Gives the Galusha off the right side. He has some running room and runs to the 23-yard line for a first down. I'll tell you what, they take out Wilkerson, put in a Galusha. It's not a great break for the opposing defense as Williamsport wants a timeout. 10:45 to go first half. Score tied at 7. You're listening to Berwick Football on Pop Radio.
Are you on the market for a new set of wheels? Once you find it, whether it's a functional grocery getter or a midlife crisis hot rod, the tag and title experts at Berwick Notary in Berwick are open 6 days a week, so you can be rest assured you'll be on the road and legal in no time. Berwick Notary can transfer a title, register an ATV or any kind of vehicle, and they're the only notary in Columbia County that registers boats. Berwick Notary's been serving the Bulldog community for over 40 years, and they proudly support the Berwick Bulldogs. Check out their Facebook page, and go Dogs!
This is Berwick football coach CJ Curry. You're listening to Bulldogs football on Pop Radio.
If our timing seems off, it's we're having some technical difficulties. We are not hearing the commercial announcements, although we are assured they are running. We have 10:45 to go in the first half. Berwick and Williamsport tied at 7. But following the Williamsport timeout, Berwick with a 1st and 10 at the Millionaires 23-yard line as they move from our right to our left. The call goes to Gavin Galusha off the right side, inside the 10, inside the 5, legs pumping down around the 3-yard line. Gavin Galusha with a terrific effort off the right side.
Yeah, got outside. Kicked inside to the C gap when the fullback kicked the contain out. Then he danced a little bit. He eluded a safety about 10 yards into the run, took it to the 3, and just kept his feet going even when they pulled him off the ground.
21 yards on the carry by Gavin Galusha. 1st and 10 Berwick from the 2-yard line. As the call goes to Galusha off the right side, he's in for a Berwick touchdown. The Bulldogs have their first lead of the night.
Strong running by Gavin Galusha. A little surprised we didn't see Ty Wilkerson, the bigger, more powerful back down at the 2-yard line. But Gavin Galusha makes it happen regardless. Beautiful run to set that touchdown up. And then this 2-yarder to kick it on in. Takes the 6 points he deserves.
64-yard scoring drive by the Bulldogs. Caleb Yost will attempt the extra point. Kick is up, and the kick is good. Time out the field. 10:18 to go, opening half. Berwick 14, Williamsport 7. You're listening to Bulldogs football on Pop Radio.
Family tradition is the foundation of Nespoli Jewelers, a family tradition started by Joseph Nespoli and continued by his grandson Jonathan. For 3 generations, Nespoli Jewelers have prided themselves on mixing fine with fashion. Jonathan can customize your engagement ring and wedding bands, design a unique piece of jewelry inspired by you, or simply help you find an affordable gift. Service, quality, creativity. Nespoli Jewelers. Yesterday's principles, today's creations. East Front Street in Berwick and online at nespolijewelers.com.
This is Berwick football coach C.J. Curry. You're listening to Bulldogs football on Pop Radio.
Jim Doyle and Andy Litt from STA Stadium in Williamsport. 10:18 remaining in the first half. Berwick has their first lead as the Bulldogs have just completed a 7-play, 64-yard drive on a 2-yard touchdown run by Gavin Galusha.
Early in the game, they're using Matt Gardner, normally a guard, 280 pounds, as a wingback, working to kick out and do this and that. But the timing just wasn't real good. They were struggling, some mix-up in the backfield. He kicked the one snap. There was a crossing where he ran into the back. So they've gone back to the standard fullback with Everett Snyder and Aiden George leading the plays. And with that more traditional look in the offense, the running backs have really responded, as have the offensive scoring machine.
Caleb Yost will kick it off following his second extra point. Kyer Whaley, Samir Williams deep for the Millionaires. Yost's kick is a pooch to the far side. It'll be picked up by Samir Williams. On the return, Berwick, pretty good coverage, and he'll be brought down about the 31-yard line.
It's slow developing. It gets past the second level to the third level on the bounce, and it's awkward to pick it up and then run when you have to slow down and gather that football. So while the kick's not real deep, there's not a whole lot of a return. There's certainly not a threat of a return for a touchdown. So they're going with that pooch, and it's worked effectively for Berwick.
So Williamsport, first down at their own 33-yard line, trailing for the first time in this one. Berwick 14-7, 10-11 to go in this opening half.
Kevin Williams, the freshman quarterback, has some pluses, has some minuses. Looks good throwing the ball on the one touchdown pass. Looks good scrambling and running with the football.
Out of the gun, Berwick showing blitz. Williams has the snap. He's going to keep it himself off the right side, and he's going nowhere. Brought down at the 30-yard line. Chase Shuckers, big play for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, he had a man inside, a man outside of him, and there was nowhere to run but right into Chase Shuckers. And again, Berwick opens the defensive series by knocking Williamsport's running game for a loss in the backfield. -2.
Second down call coming. Millionaires back at their 30-yard line. Skylar Neville, Chase Shuckers, Gabe Decker, Nico Lonsinski, the front four for the Bulldogs. 3 receivers to the left. Williams looks at a play on his sheet on his right wrist. Has the snap back to throw, fires, has his man across the way, and not much doing. Forced out of bounds to the 35-yard line.
Trey Schroeder made the catch on about a 5-yard out, but immediately the corner is up on top of him. I believe it was Julie Howie to run him out of bounds. So a minimal gain when they needed more. 3rd and about 8 coming up.
Trey Schroeder is a 5. Three receivers to the left. Got his hands on it. Would not have been the first down unless he broke away.
No, and I don't think he would have. Going down low, you almost have to stop and then try to pivot. Berwick had a corner behind the play coming up, but as the ball kind of bounces in his direction, he's unable to scoop. Coming close to blocking these punts.
Parker Johnson's had 2 short punts. And now his kick is short, but very, very, very high.
Again, if you're not going to feel that, get out of the way.
Lead at 14-7, and they have it at their own 29 with 9:07 to go in the half.
Gavin Galusha finished off the last drive with a touchdown. He has 35 yards. Ty Wilkerson, I have him with 140 on the game. No passes have been attempted. No need to.
From the 29, Bulldogs moving from our right to our left.
Wildcat.
3 blocking backs to the left. And Wilkerson will take it to the right. And he's got some running room, and he's out near the first down, the 40-yard line.
Yeah, real nice job in there with the blocking before Jaden Ransom is able to track him down, wrap him up. But does he move the chains on that, Jim?
Not quite.
Just about. Give him 10 more. Give him 150 on this first half. It looked like he was going to run left the way it was set up, but then the blocking developed off the right. By design, the play went in that direction.
Second down call coming. Wilkerson gets it, and he's hit behind the line, back at the 35-yard line. He'll lose 3. Flag down well after the play.
Giovanni White eventually squares him up as he can't go wide of that or inside of it. So he's going to take a loss. Second and very short. You don't want to take a loss, and you certainly don't want to take a penalty. What's the call?
Well, the biggest negative to Berwick's win over Nanticoke last week was the penalties. But this one will go against Williamsport. Bulldogs had 11 penalties in that game, but Williamsport hurting themselves with penalties here in the first half.
Yes, they are. A crucial one where they would have had great field position after a punt misplayed. And here, that holding or a
personal
foul hurt them, and now another 15-yarder kills them here where Berwick's being dropped for a loss.
And that's the second personal foul against the Millionaires. So Berwick at midfield with a first down, trying to add to a 14-7 lead.
Temporary stoppage. They had to get the chain set after the penalty. So Berwick is back in the huddle, and we'll get a ready for play signal now.
Skylar Neville in there as a tight end to the left. Caught the first touchdown pass of his career last Friday at Crispin Field. Hansen under center. Gives to Wilkerson off the right side. Plenty of running room inside the 40 to the 35 and down near the 31-yard line. Ty Wilkerson.
He has nice balance, Jim. It was a standard from under the center. Quarterback takes it, and it's just a dive off over the right guard. We've been seeing the excellent play of Matt Gordner. He finds a seam straight up, gets tripped up a little bit at the linebacker area, but then high steps and regains his balance. I've never noticed the balance. I've seen power, I've seen moves, I've seen speed. Add balance to the mix.
18 yards on that carry. Now it's Hansen going to keep it himself and going to run into trouble as he is buried at the 33-yard line.
Not sure what quite happened on the play. Williamsport had penetration. Hansen wanted to get and try to hit the periphery on the left, but the penetration disrupts the play. Get back to the line of scrimmage for a no gain.
Second and 10, Bulldogs. Leading 14-7, 7:23 to go in the first half. Hansen under center.
With Gavin Galusha behind him.
Motion to the left side. Give to Galusha, nothing there, and he'll get what he can to about the 30. So it'll bring up third down at 8.
Anthony Manley stuffing that up. Very deliberate play. He kind of waited for the right guard to pull and lead the way, but already there was blocking on the corner that had, developed the play. So just an odd timing that wasn't quite where they needed it to be.
Berwick probably in 4-down territory.
I'd agree. Yep.
Facing third and 8 at the Williamsport 30. Bulldogs have dominated time of possession this opening half. Decker, the tight end to the right. Neville to the left. Hansen under center. Galusha, the running back. Flag down the play.
Well, it's going to be a passing play. It would have been Berwick's first pass of the game. But Williamsport jumped the snap. They'll get moved 5 yards back instead of 3rd and 8. 3rd and a long 3 coming up. I think you go back to the running game if that is the case.
Yeah, I agree with you. It looked like it was going to be a passing play. I'll be shocked if it is now. And here comes Ty Wilkerson into the offense.
I'd pound him here on 3rd down. If he doesn't get it, pound him again on 4th. And I wouldn't do anything running sideways. I'd want him moving forward between the tackles. Let him use his power and the offensive line's blocking prowess.
Hansen stays in there as the quarterback. Wilkerson, the lone running back behind him. Double tight end alignment. 3rd and 3. Wilkerson the call, looking for the first down. Has it and then some. Inside the 10, inside the 5, and down around the 3-yard line. Ty Wilkerson up the gut first to goal, Berwick.
Eventually tripped up by Jamel Bailey, Jim, but boy, what a run. He ran with deliberation. There wasn't an immediate seam, so he ran up to the line, did a little sideways step, and found the seam for the first down. And then found he was going to get a lot more.
22 yards on the carry by Wilkerson, and off the left side in for the touchdown with 5:39 to go in the half.
Strong play, a great drive by Berwick, Jim. I had Wilkerson before that run with 190 yards. Give him the 2 or 3 more from there as things are happening very quickly. Hard to keep up with all the numbers he's amassing.
Caleb Yost will attempt the extra point. He's been perfect on the season. Ashton Smith will hold. Kick is up, and the kick is good. Time on the field. 5:39 to go. First half. Berwick 21, Williamsport 7. You're listening to Bulldogs Football on Pop Radio.
Free checking for you and your business. No strings attached. Sounds perfect, right? First Keystone Community Bank offers free personal and business checking options with free Visa debit card, no monthly fees, no minimum balance, and no monthly qualifying requirements. Checking with no gimmicks, just what you need. They'll be celebrating 160 years of serving their communities with 19 full-service locations and convenient digital banking tools 24/7. First Keystone Community Bank. Local banking for the community we all call home. Online at fkc.bank. Equal opportunity lender, member FDIC.
This is Berwick football coach C.J. Curry. You're listening to Bulldogs football on Pop Radio.
5 minutes, 39 seconds to go in the first half. Berwick's just put together a 71-yard scoring drive on 8 plays. Ty Wilkerson in from the 3-yard line. He had runs of 18 and 22 yards on that possession.
Yeah, I have him with 193 yards on the game rushing. I'll have to count up when we get to halftime and see on how many carries, but great yards per carry for Ty Wilkerson as he just looks unstoppable behind the Berwick blocking.
Yost will kick it away.
Williamsport's anticipating that pooch, Jim. They have more people over in that direction toward the Berwick sideline for the shorter kick.
And again, that short kick that is fielded by one of the up men at the 30-yard line, and the return out to about the 40, maybe the 41. Flag down on the play.
Trying to look to see who made the tackle for Berwick, because it was a nice effort as the play refused to go down. Braden Schaefer was in there, as was Brock Sims, to bring down the Williamsport runner.
And I think this penalty is going to be a sideline warning against Williamsport, so no damage done on this one, as the Millionaires will try to get back in this one. They have good field position. They have it at their 41-yard line. 5:31 to go in the half, and Berwick leading 21-7.
3 runners coming into the game averaging almost 7 yards a carry, Jim, and this team has no rushing yardage. I have Tevin Williams with 3 carries for +1 yard. Kair Whale, they have a 3 for -6, so they're at minus rushing yardage. Berwick playing a lot of that 4-3 defense, getting penetration at the snap, disrupting things in the backfield before they can get started.
Williams out of the gun, has Whaley to his right. Berwick showing blitz. Moving into that line and then backing away. The call goes to Whaley off the left side and nothing doing. Maybe back to the line of scrimmage. Berwick continues to dominate at that line of scrimmage.
Yeah, Chase Shuckers had him. Gabe Decker helps finish him off. And again, on first down, they'll lose yardage with that run.
They're marking it at the 41, so let's call it 2nd and 10. As he did get back to the line of scrimmage as we go under 5 minutes remaining in this opening half.
Tough calling plays when your running game is being stifled. So even play action pass isn't nearly as effective when you're not running well.
Williams has the gun, has the snap, fires a quick out to the far side. Great tackle in the open field, the 42-yard line. Julian Howie makes a big hit after a gain of just a yard on the play.
Giovanni White caught the ball, and as he turns to go upfield, they just ran him over, a bulldozer type. There'll be 1 yard gain for Julian White, but boy, you don't want to have to pay that price.
Julian Howie with the big hit in the open field. 3rd down, we'll call it 8 for the Millionaires at their 43.
Ball's on the right hash. This young quarterback, if he wants to roll wide side, is going to have to do it left, opposite of the way he'd be comfortable throwing.
3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right, and Williamsport will use a timeout. We'll take one as well. 4:04 to go, 21-7 Bulldogs. You're listening to Bulldogs Football and Pop Radio.
For over 50 years, you've trusted Overhead Door to provide the finest quality residential and commercial garage door products, installation, and service. With winter right around the corner, your garage doors need a tune-up. For only $99 for one or $125 for multiple doors, they'll check, lube, and adjust your garage doors and openers so they operate smoothly. Call for their seasonal tune-up special, Overhead Door of Berwick. They're more than just doors. See their 5-star rating on their Google business page or visit ohdberwick.com.
This is Berwick football coach C.J. Curry. You're listening to Bulldogs football on Pop Radio.
Williamsport has used their 2nd time out of this opening half to talk about a 3rd and 8 situation. 4:04 to go in the half. The way Berwick's offense is going, Millionaires certainly don't want to give it up here, so this is a big conversion attempt for them.
On the second play of their offensive when they first had the ball, it was a 57-yard touchdown after a mistake. They'd like to reduplicate that, but it's been no success since.
Back to throw as Williams throws over the middle. The ball is intercepted by Julian Howie. We almost had one earlier, and this time he does have one. He went high in the air to grab it, and Berwick has the football.
His receiver was on the far side of the field. He came down and did a short post. Howie stayed with him at inside position, read the quarterback, read his receiver's eyes, then went up high for the ball, caught it at the high point in front of the receiver, comes down with the interception.
1st and 10, Berwick at the 40. Bulldogs have turned it over a couple times. They get one back as Howie with the interception. And Berwick at their own 40 with exactly 4 minutes remaining in the half. And Wilkerson will take the shotgun snap, and he goes off the right side. He's got some running room, and he's still on his feet, and he's close to the 1st down yardage.
Yep, he really is. Going to put him over 200 yards for the first half in his rushing as he approaches the chains. Are they going to move them? They are. Yes, they'll give him the 1st down, give him 10.
1st and 10 for the Bulldogs from midfield. Center Gavin Jones over the football. Wilkerson out of the Wildcat has the snap. He's going to try the left side, cuts it inside, and a good effort by him. Gets to the Williamsport 44-yard line.
You know, there's a toughness we didn't see out of him early in the season, Jim, and I think it's come with his confidence. He's stretching that one for a 7-yard gain, and again, most running backs at 3 or 4 are being hit and may go down. But he just refuses. He just refuses to go down. Spins away, keeps the leg churning, fights for more yardage.
Wilkerson gets a breather now. 2nd down and 4. Gavin Galusha is the running back. Billy Hansen under center. Galusha gets the call, tries the right side, tripped up just short of the 1st down yardage.
But a nice effort nonetheless. You know, it's funny the different styles of runners. You put Ty Wilkerson there, and you like him almost what's like an I formation when he's in, at quarterback, where he can just target himself straight ahead. Galusha gets that handoff, and he has to veer to his right and then turn it upfield with a different style.
Third down, a short 2 for Berwick. Inside the Williamsport 42-yard line. Hansen under center. Offset I behind him. Galusha's the running back. He gets the call off the left side. Has the first down and then some. Nice cut to the 33-yard line.
Yes, it is. And at that point, he's being brought down by Samir Williams, who's been very active from his linebacker position. But until Berwick moves the chains yet again, nice decision-making by Gavin Galusha, sweeping left, cutting up when he sees the seam.
9 yards on that carry. 1st and 10 from the 33. Galusha again off the right side. This time Williamsport is all over the play. He'll get maybe a yard.
Might be getting a little more predictable. They like him with the sweeping action where he can cut up into C-gap.
Timeout, Bulldogs. 1:56 to go first half. 21-7 Berwick. You're listening to Berwick Football and Pop Radio.
Are your appliances feeling a little bit outdated? You're looking for the best deals in town? Well, look no further than Flick Brothers Electric, your go-to family-owned appliance paradise. Flick Brothers Electric has all the top-notch name-brand appliances you could ever dream of. Washers, dryers, refrigerators, dishwashers, microwave stoves. They even give free estimates on Fujitsu ductless air conditioner heat pump units. Flick Brothers Electric on Maple Lane, keeping Bloomsburg cool, clean, and cooking for over 65 years. Call them at 570-784-3444.
W234BH West Hazleton at 94.7, WBWX W242CY Berwick at 96.3, W282CO Bloomsburg at 104.3, and W288CF Danville at 105.5. Your home for Berwick Bulldogs football is Pop Radio, a Seven Mountains media station. WHLM Bloomsburg.
With a 2nd down and 10. Wilkerson back in there, takes the snap, looks off the left side, nothing there, is stood up by Bailey, but 2nd and 3rd effort, he's still going. Did they blow the whistle? If not, he's down to the 20-yard line. There is a flag down.
They had 3 backs to the right, like triple wings. And at the snap, they brought them all to the left to lead the blocking there for Wilkerson. It seemed jammed up at first. He took a hit, but then he kept moving the pile and fighting for yardage. Flag near the line of scrimmage.
Holding against Berwick.
Yeah, bring that one back. Berwick has used a variety of formations to kind of widen formations. They've taken 3 wing backs and put them outside of the tight end on occasion. This time they were kind of stacked near the tight end, but then immediately at the snap, brought them behind the line of scrimmage to lead things off the left side. Holding call, though, so the strategy doesn't matter.
2nd down and 17. Bulldogs at the Williamsport 39 after a shift. 3 blocking backs to the right, leading the way for Wilkerson, but Williamsport is all over the play, and he'll be buried behind the line of scrimmage at the 43-yard line. Well,
you could put 3 blocking backs there, Jim, but they got to block people. They went downfield, and 2 people came upfield inside of them. So, not good execution by those triple wing backs who are out there like H-backs. You're out there to block. You got to shut down the things coming inside.
The Berwick uses a timeout. We'll keep it right here with 1:18 to go in the half. Stay with us at halftime. Ashlyn Walshaw will bring you updated on the high school football scoreboard. Some interesting matchups, including a matchup of unbeaten Bloomsburg against Shamokin. We'll hear from Ashlyn on those. Well, we may not hear, but you'll hear.
Yeah.
The ball at the 43-yard line of the Millionaires. Berwick with 1 timeout remaining. Bulldogs trying to add to a 21-7 lead.
They still haven't thrown a pass in this half, Jim, and with 3rd and extremely long, this might be the situation where you see it. Of course, you could play it conservative, protecting a 2-touchdown lead. Run Ty Wilkerson a few more times and see if he can break it. If you don't, well, you go at the halftime with the lead as it is.
It will be Hansen under center.
Now shotgun.
and a running back to either side of him from the gun. And he's back to throw. And he's looking. He's going to run the football. Got a little bit of running room to the 35, outside the 30, breaks a tackle, gets down to the 29-yard line. Well, he didn't get 21, but he got 14.
Yeah.
And makes it a doable fourth down.
And a fourth down where you'll go anyway. Too far for field goal, way too close to punt. So as you mentioned, a makeable fourth down. Do we have another timeout, or are we just huddling on the sideline?
Berwick should be out of timeouts by my count.
But there is a stoppage as teams go to the sidelines.
And we do not have a 2-minute rule in high school football.
Got caught on that in the college game a couple times.
And a reminder, the college game tomorrow. Andy and I will be at Danny Hill Field at Redmond Stadium for the homecoming game as the Huskies of Bloomsburg take on East Stroudsburg. That's a 2 o'clock kickoff on 106.5 Bigfoot Country. And I don't know if you know this, but the radio station from East Stroudsburg will be there to do the game. Chuck Cease and Bob Bertain. And they work for Bigfoot Country.
Bigfoot Country, there you go.
They are all over the state.
They should give them a booth to broadcast in the size we get when we're at East Stroudsburg.
Yes.
About 5 foot wide. Sometimes the two of us can sit side by side in chairs.
Here's a 4th and 7, Berwick, following the Bulldogs timeout. Out of the gun. Hanson play action, play stops, flags. And Williamsport will use their final timeout. 58 seconds to go to the half. 21-7 Berwick. You're listening to Bulldogs football on Pop Radio.
Hey, hometown fans. You know Journey Bank as your trusted local bank. But did you know we're also the biggest cheerleader for our community's youth? From athletes competing under the Friday night lights, to students excelling in the classroom, to talented teen stars singing center stage, we're investing in the future of our young people. At Journey Bank, we're committed to helping our kids score big in every aspect of life. Journey Bank, where dreams are nurtured and futures are built. Journey Bank, proud supporter of our local youth.
This is Berwick football coach C.J. Curry. You're listening to Bulldogs football on Pop Radio.
We have 58.5 seconds remaining in this opening half. Berwick leading Williamsport 21-7. Scoreboard says Berwick with 2 timeouts remaining. My count must be way off.
I haven't seen the official signal them, so I had trouble keeping count.
That one was on Williamsport.
Yeah,
so
that
they're
one
out
was.
of timeouts. I understand that. I thought Berwick was too, but the scoreboard says 2 timeouts. It'll be irrelevant if Berwick cannot convert here. 4th and 8 from the Williamsport 29. Hanson back to throw. Looking long to Julian Howie into traffic, and the ball is knocked down incomplete. And Williamsport will finally get a stop, and they'll take over with 52.3 seconds to go in the half. No timeouts remaining, and trailing Berwick 21-7.
How aggressive will they try to score with under a minute to go? If so, they're going to have to put their young freshman Tevin Williams, the quarterback, into passing mode. I have him with 3 of 8 passing. A 57-yard touchdown on their second play of the game, a 5-yarder and a 1-yarder, and 1 interception on his last pass. He's been feeling the pressure when Berwick comes at him. In this 4-3 defense, they've been finding seams, whether they're blitzing or whether it's the linemen. We'll see how it goes here.
5 receivers to choose from. 3 to the right, 2 to the left. First down call. Williams, empty backfield, has the snap. Back to throw, fires over the middle. Catch is made by Dan Schroeder, and he gets out to about the 38-yard line. Everett Snyder makes the stop.
They'll move the chains. A real nice catch. Fingertip catch as he slanted over the middle and then ran upfield to gain some yardage.
14 yards on the reception. Flag down. Stops play. Offside Berwick.
They've been pawing at the ground to get the big pass rush. Might have seen Tevin Williams, the quarterback, change the cadence a little bit, mark them offsides. 5 yards isn't that much, but you certainly will take it where you can. Easier to get the chains, but they got a long way still to the end zone.
1st and 5 from the 48. 37.7 seconds remaining in the half. Again, the empty backfield. Williams back to throw. Berwick coming hard. He's going to run to his left, then fire a pass, and then wide open the far side of the field. It's Bradshaw. Bradshaw inside the 20, down to the 14-yard line. Oh, how did Berwick let that dangerous wide receiver all by his lonesome in an obvious passing situation at the end of the half?
Quarterback pumped once, and I think that might have broke the coverage, and then he slid behind the linebackers and in front of the secondary.
And now he'll take the snap and just slam it down after the 38-yard reception by an outstanding wide receiver, Kyreek Bradshaw.
And they have an outstanding kicker, Jim, and this is probably field goal range for Parker Johnson. So they got the clock stopped, 2nd and 10, about, 15 yards to go to the end zone.
23.5 seconds to go in the half. And again, Williams with no protection back there. Can the Bulldogs get to him? He's back to throw. Here comes the rush. He turns the corner. He's at the 10, and he's ridden out of bounds around the 8-yard line.
He kept working his way at the sideline. I thought for sure they'd be able to push him out, but they're going to give him the 7 yards to maximize his run.
Ball at the 8-yard line. 3rd down and about 5 from the 8.
You mentioned he's naked back there, no protection. All the receivers are going out. He's looking to hit a primary target, cocks the arm, pumps, runs, dangerous.
Again, 3 receivers to the right, but he's looking to the left and fires into the end zone. Deep in the end zone, the catch is made for a touchdown. Again, it's Bradshaw. Berwick has no answer for him, and boy, has this game turned around with 11.2 seconds to go in the half.
Coverage wasn't bad. Berwick had a man on him, Shiloh Escobar, but he wasn't able to locate the football, and Bradshaw was, as he's working his way toward the back pylon on the left side. Quarterback puts it right where it needs to be for the score.
Parker Johnson will attempt the extra point. Long count. Snap. Placement. Kick is up. Kick is good. Timeout in the field. 11.2 seconds remaining. Opening half. Berwick 21. Williamsport 14. You're listening to Bulldogs Football on Pop Radio.
Red's Roofing, the roofing ninjas of Berwick. The roofing experts for all of our listening area. With over 30 years experience and great rates, why go anywhere else when Red's Roofing will get the job done right for your roofing, decks, and siding. Specializing in metal roofs, rubber roofs, and shingles. Most of the work is done in one day. Red's Roofing, the roofing ninjas. Now located in Dushore and also serving Bradford and Sullivan counties with owner Harry Titus, a supporter of the Berwick football team and St. Jude Children's Hospital. Call 570-752-4351.
This is Berwick football coach CJ Curry. You're listening to Bulldogs football on Pop Radio.
Berwick has dominated this first half of play, and yet, barring a kick return for a touchdown here, they're going to go in at halftime with just a 7-point lead, and Williamsport's going to get the football to start the second half. Kyreek Bradshaw with his second touchdown grab. This comes with 11 seconds to go. Johnson kicks it in the end zone. So Berwick will probably take a knee and close out this half, but that is a huge drive by Williamsport. Everything going Berwick's way. Williamsport gets a stop in their own territory, no timeouts left, and 57 seconds to go, and they march downfield. And that talented 9th grader is on target to his talented wide receiver. And it's a 21-14 game. So the ball went in the end zone, so still 11.2 seconds remaining. And Berwick will have it at their own 20-yard line.
I think victory formation here, Jim. He's going to take that kneel down here. No sense taking risks.
Boy, what play by the 9th grader.
Oh, boy.
What poise.
Talented. Very talented.
And they took a gamble, not giving him any protection. And Berwick's been pressuring him. Not that time. And that will be the end of the first half of play with the score. Berwick 21, Williamsport 14. You're listening to Bulldogs football on Pop Radio.
Be moved in a Mazda from W&L. Jump in with the whole family for a night of memories in the third row Mazda CX-90 plug-in hybrid, offering 1.9% financing for 72 months.
Or choose bold utility in the all-new CX-70. You will elevate your driving experience with a comfortable cabin and expansive cargo capacity. Right now, W&L Mazda is offering 2.9% for 72 months.
See us off Route 11 in Northumberland and online at WNLMazda.com.
Financing available to well-qualified applicants only. Offer cannot be combined with any other discounts or incentives other than loyalty or military offers. Offers end 10/31/24. See W&L Mazda for complete offer details.
Mason's Monogramming has the largest selection of Bulldog items in Berwick. Family owned with more than 35 years experience. And new Bulldog wear for every age, including t-shirts, sweatshirts, jackets, polos, hats, and more. They even make online fundraising easy for you. Stop in today to discuss your next fundraising opportunity. You can also shop at masonsmonogramming.com for their new inventory and select in-person pickup or shipping right to you. Follow their Instagram at Mason's Monogramming for their latest new items. Mason's Ram Service in Berwick. Let them personalize for you.
We're here at Ken Pollock in Berwick, and Ken is here with us. And Ken, you've been here for the last 10 years or so. Has Berwick welcomed you?
Absolutely. I think we align perfectly as a group with the Berwick community. We're community-driven. We love servicing the people down here. We have great deals every day, whatever stage in life you might be at, looking for a car for your kid, family, whatever it might be. We have a huge selection here, and whatever you have, bring it down, and we'll service it for you as well. Our people are very eager and very knowledgeable about the product that we do have, so we really want to help you out and make you a part of the Ken Pollock family.
When you're shopping for insurance, you might say, "What? Huh?"
I'm so over this.
But what you really need to say is something that could actually help.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
When you get a local State Farm agent, they can help make it easy and help you choose the coverage you need. Plus, they're available online, over the phone, or even in person.
I'm so into this.
Visit your Bloomsburg State Farm agent, Sean Black, at insurebloomsburg.com.
Planning your next big event? Weddings, concerts, church festivals, even construction sites. Preferred Portables has you covered. Preferred Portables offers a luxury restroom trailer that even has hot water. No power? No problem. They can provide a generator to keep the lights on. They even provide sanitary service to campgrounds, parks, parties, and have 24-hour emergency service. Contact Preferred Portables to learn about event and contractor pricing. Check out their website, preferredportables.com. We're number one when you have to go number two.
It's time for the Berwick Bulldogs halftime show on Pop Radio. Brought to you by W&L Subaru, Nissan, and Mazda. Discover the W&L difference today.
Fourth play from scrimmage after taking the opening kickoff. Williamsport's Tevin Williams, a ninth grade quarterback, making his starting debut. Lost a lot of yardage on a first play sack. Came back on the second play and hit his outstanding wide receiver, Kyreek Bradshaw. 57-yard strike down the middle for the touchdown. Parker Johnson with the extra point with 9:26 to go in the first quarter. Williamsport had a lead of 7-0. Bulldogs came back after a short punt by Parker Johnson. 7 plays, 47 yards. Ty Wilkerson in from 1 yard out for the score. Caleb Yost with the extra point. That came late in the first quarter, 1:13 to be exact. And the score was tied at 7 in the second quarter. Berwick took their first lead. A 7-play, 64-yard drive. Biggest play along the way, a 28-yard run by Ty Wilkerson. Gavin Galusha, the sophomore, in from 2 yards out. Caleb Yost with the extra point. 10:18 to go in the half. Berwick led 14-7. They added to that lead later in the quarter. At 8 plays, 71-yard drive. 3-yard touchdown run by Ty Wilkerson. He had runs of 18 and 22 yards along the way. When do you hear his totals when Andy gives the stats later on? Caleb Yost with the extra point. And Berwick led 21-7. They were in complete control. In fact, they were threatening to make it 28-7 when they had a 4th and 8 in Williamsport territory. Pass went incomplete. Williamsport took over, but they had no timeouts left and just 57 seconds to play. But that talented 9th grader took them downfield, got them to the 8-yard line, and from there, a beautiful pass deep in the end zone to Kyreek Bradshaw. That came with a 11.2 seconds to go in the half. Parker Johnson with the extra point. And that's how we stand here at halftime. Berwick 21 and Williamsport 14. We'll take a look at other scores with Ashlyn Walshaw when we return. You're listening to Berwick Football on Pop Radio.
Red's Roofing, the roofing ninjas of Berwick. The roofing experts for all of our listening area. With over 30 years experience and great rates, why go anywhere else when Red's Roofing will get the job done right for your roofing, decks, and siding, specializing in metal roofs, rubber roofs, and shingles. Most of the work is done in one day. Red's Roofing, the roofing ninjas. Now located in Dushore and also serving Bradford and Sullivan counties with owner Harry Titus, a supporter of the Berwick football team and St. Jude Children's Hospital. Call 570-752-4351.
This is Mike from M&M Carpet One in Bloomsburg. Is this the first time you've shopped with us? Let me explain why you should shop at a Carpet One store. We have over 1,300 store buying power. Carpet One stores sell more floor covering than the two big box stores do combined. That means not only do you get the best price, but you get to work with flooring professionals throughout the entire process, from estimates to installation. No one will give you more for your flooring dollar than M&M Carpet One in Bloomsburg.
Mason's Monogramming has the largest selection of Bulldog items in Berwick. Family owned with more than 35 years experience. And new Bulldog wear for every age, including t-shirts, sweatshirts, jackets, polos, hats, and more. They even make online fundraising easy for you. Stop in today to discuss your next fundraising opportunity. You can also shop at masonsmonogramming.com for their new inventory and select in-person pickup or shipping right to you. Follow their Instagram at Mason's Monogramming for their latest new items. Mason's Monogram Service in Berwick. Let them personalize for you.
When you've been sidelined by an injury, all you want is to get back in the game. Getting to the finish line starts with Lehigh Valley Orthopedic Institute, the region's leader in sports medicine. We use the most advanced technology for faster, better results, so elite and everyday athletes can compete like champions once again. Call 833-LV-ORTHO. Lehigh Valley Orthopedic Institute. Your health deserves a partner.
Are your appliances feeling a little bit outdated? You're looking for the best deals in town? Well, look no further than Flick Brothers Electric, your go-to family-owned appliance paradise. Flick Brothers Electric has all the top-notch name-brand appliances you could ever dream of. Washers, dryers, refrigerators, dishwashers, microwave stoves. They even give free estimates on Fujitsu ductless air conditioner heat pump units. Flick Brothers Electric on Maple Lane, keeping Bloomsburg cool, clean, and cooking for over 65 years. Call them at 570-784-3444.
This is Berwick football coach CJ Curry. You're listening to Bulldogs football on Pop Radio.
Okay. Halftime homecoming activities going on down in the field here at STA Stadium in Williamsport. Good first half of football, back and forth action. Berwick leading Williamsport 21-14. For an update on other scores as we kick off weekend number 8 of this 10-week regular season, let's go to Ashlyn Walshaw.
Thanks, Jim. Bloomsburg leads Shikellamy 22-15 in the first. Mifflinburg leads Central Columbia 28-0 in the second. Dallas leads Crestwood 21-7 at the half. Danville leads Loyalsock 14-3 at the half. Pittston area leads Hazleton area 14-6 in the second. Hughesville leads Warrior Run 14-7 at the half. Wyoming area leads Lake Lehman 21-7 at the half. Shamokin leads Lewisburg 17-6 at the half. Scranton Prep leads Mid-Valley 21-0 at the half. Southern Columbia leads Montoursville 7-0 at the half. Mount Carmel leads Central Mountain 42-0 in the second. Honesdale leads Nanticoke 49-0 at the half. Hollidaysburg leads Selinsgrove 22-14 in the second. And Tunkhannock leads Montrose 13-0 at the half. Now back to Jim and Andy.
Okay, thank you very much, Ashlyn. Here it is 21-14. Berwick leading Williamsport, and the Bulldogs happy to be ahead, but frustrating in the point that they completely dominated the first half, I thought, and yet the lead is just 7. Andy, what did the numbers say?
Yeah, the dominance was there, Jim. It was that last drive that was kind of the heartbreaker for Berwick, but credit Tevin Williams, that freshman quarterback. unflappable as he's taking shotgun snaps, finding receivers, double clutching and finding the secondary type of receiver, and eventually finding Kyrie Bradshaw in the end zone. The numbers for the team, Williamsport has almost nothing rushing. 8 carries plus 2 yards. The running backs at 4 carries for -6. Tevin Williams, the quarterback, hassled on occasion, running upfield on others. 4 carries for +8, so a net of just 2 yards in the running game. I have Tevin Williams passing as 6 of 11. The 1 interception, not really a devastating one. They'd have punted afterwards and not gained a whole lot. But 121 yards in the airways. Kyrie Bradshaw is for real. 3 catches, 103 yards. The 8-yard touchdown at the end of the half, the backbreaker that, Berwick had a good, comfortable lead prior to that. That narrows the gap. And a 57-yarder very early in the game as he got a step on a receiver, and Tevin Williams was able to get it out to him. For again, Kyrie Bradshaw, 3 catches, 103 yards. Trey Damschroeder, he has 2 catches for 17. Giovanni White has the other catch, just 1 yard as he was hit near the line of scrimmage on that. 6 of 11 passing, 1 interception, 121 in the air, just 2 yards rushing for a total of 123 yards in total offense. Compare that 123, Berwick has it doubled at 263 yards, all of it on the ground. Only 1 pass attempted, that fell incomplete for no yards by quarterback Billy Hansen. And then the rushing numbers, Billy Hansen's run 4 times for 21 yards. The team has 2 carries for -5, including a fumble bouncing off of a man in motion. Gavin Galusha's running nicely, 9 carries for 47 yards. But the story is Ty Wilkerson, whether they're handing him the ball or whether he's doing it out of the Wildcat. 20 carries, around 200 yards. Exactly 200 on my count on 20 carries. Just an amazing performance for him. Add in the others with 47 from Galusha, 21 from Hansen, and Berwick has 35 rushes for 263 yards here at halftime. Compare it to the 183 that they've held Williamsport to. Unfortunately, they didn't hold them in the last drive, or this 21-14 game would have been 21-7 here at halftime. But Williamsport is back in this one, Jimmy.
Interesting contrasted styles. Williamsport can't run even a little bit, but a dangerous passing attack. And by the way, Kyrie Bradshaw was just named homecoming king. So this is quite a night for him.
Quite a night is right, and it's not done.
But at any rate, Berwick can't throw it, but they don't have to throw it.
No.
Williamsport can't stop. If I'm Williamsport, I'm treating every play from scrimmage in the second half where Berwick has the ball like a goal line with 1 yard to go.
Well, you know what happens, Jim? I was a running coach. I had a game or 2 where I did not pass at all, and you find out when everyone cheats up, when the linebackers cheat up and that secondary cheats up, once you get 5 yards, you have the touchdown. You have the next 50 or 60, and the way we're seeing Ty Wilkerson run, and I'd keep feeding him the football, give him a little break with Gavin Galusha, give him a little break with Billy Hansen. But the way he's running the football, he's a potential touchdown every carry. He has the speed to the hole. The offensive line and fullbacks are opening nice seams for him. And he's breaking tackles then in that first 5 or 6 yards if anyone's there. And then he can, be slowed down to almost a standstill. And then he can just get, boom, accelerating yet again and find his way to the end zone.
Andy, I don't disagree with anything you're saying, but I think you still have to crowd that box.
Well, you do to a degree. But I've found that sometimes you like to see them crowd the box when you have a runner like Tyreek Wilkerson, where he can then outrace it to the end zone if he gets past that first 5 to 7 yards, and he's showing that he can do that.
By the way, give Berwick's coaching staff some credit because, yes, they're running on almost every play, but there's a lot of different looks. There's some variation in this offense.
Yeah, and, they were very willing to leave the original game plan. The original game plan, we're seeing Matt Gordner, 280 pounds, is a wingback. And a wingback going in motion and pulling and leading the blocking. And it had a nice look for it. It probably looked a little bit better on paper than it did in execution in their first series or two. It's tricky timing when you put something in 1 week and you have a bigger guy back there who's not as comfortable with it. I think he ran into the one snap and it was an early fumble. He crossed with the back in the backfield when they shifted him there. But Berwick kind of said, hey, this isn't there. Let's go back to what worked last week and the week before. Let's go back to a standard fullback. Let's go back to our three wingback attacks with the H-backs. Let's run behind that as we widen things outside the tight end with extra blocking. Let's bring them behind the line of scrimmage to lead the blocking. No, they've been solid. And I even like what I'm seeing out of Gavin Galusha when they're giving Ty Wilkerson a little bit of a break. He's a dangerous type of runner with his sweeping action, cutting on up inside. And again, 47 yards at halftime for him. He'd be on pace for 100-yard games, too.
Yeah, you mentioned giving Ty Wilkerson a break, but you're not giving the defensive break because Galusha, very talented runner in his own right. Very interesting first half of football. Berwick leads Williamsport 21-14. We'll be back. You're listening to Berwick Football on Pop Radio.
Hey, hometown fans. You know Journey Bank as your trusted local bank. But did you know we're also the biggest cheerleader for our community's youth? From athletes competing under the Friday night lights, to students excelling in the classroom, to talented teen stars singing center stage, we're investing in the future of our young people. At Journey Bank, we're committed to helping our kids score big in every aspect of life. Journey Bank, where dreams are nurtured and futures are built. Journey Bank, proud supporter of our local youth.
Mason's Monogramming has the largest selection of Bulldog items in Berwick. Family owned with more than 35 years experience. And new Bulldog wear for every age, including t-shirts, sweatshirts, jackets, polos, hats, and more. They even make online fundraising easy for you. Stop in today to discuss your next fundraising opportunity. You can also shop at masonsmonogramming.com for their new inventory and select in-person pickup or shipping right to you. Follow their Instagram at Mason's Monogramming for their latest new items. Mason's Monogram Service in Berwick. Let them personalize for you.
Be moved in a Mazda from WNL.
Jump in with the whole family for a night of memories in the third row Mazda CX-90 plug-in hybrid, offering 1.9% financing for 72 months.
Or choose bold utility in the all-new CX-70. You will elevate your driving experience with the comfortable cabin and expansive cargo capacity. Right now, WNL Mazda is offering 2.9% for 72 months.
See us off Route 11 in Northumberland and online at WNLMazda.com.
Financing available to well-qualified applicants only. Offer cannot be combined with any other discounts or incentives other than loyalty or military offers. Offers end 10/31/24. See WNL Mazda for complete offer details.
Berwick Dental Arts, 9th Street in Berwick, is proud to be keeping generations of beautiful smiles across Bulldog Nation. Dr. Susan Ermish, Dr. Nathaniel Fluke, and their staff practice general and restorative dentistry, and they're open Monday through Friday. Whether you need a simple cleaning or a complicated procedure, Berwick Dental Arts will see that you have the best smile so you can be your best. Berwick Dental Arts, 9th Street in Berwick, is a proud supporter of Berwick Bulldogs football. Visit their website at berwickdentalarts.com.
Stop! Don't make your next car payment. Instead, get a new vehicle at Alexander Family Buick GMC in Bloomsburg. Because right now, we're offering a 120% of Kelley Blue Book trade value buyback bonus, up to $2,500. Just find the vehicle you want from our huge selection of new Buicks and GMCs and get 120% of KBB trade-in value for yours. It's the 120% of KBB buyback bonus event going on now at Alexander Family Buick GMC in Bloomsburg. The lowest price guaranteed.
For over 50 years, you've trusted Overhead Door to provide the finest quality residential and commercial garage door products, installation, and service. With winter right around the corner, your garage doors need a tune-up. For only $99 for one or $125 for multiple doors, they'll check, lube, and adjust your garage doors and openers so they operate smoothly. Call for their seasonal tune-up special, Overhead Door of Berwick. They're more than just doors. See their 5-star rating on their Google business page or visit ohdberwick.com.
This is Berwick football coach C.J. Curry. You're listening to Bulldogs football on Pop Radio.
Jim Doyle and Andy Lickney from STA Stadium in Williamsport. Berwick leading Williamsport at the break 21-14. And Andy, I'm sure people listening have heard with our crowd mic some of the PA announcements. The PA announcements by a man by the name of Larry Bassett, who is in his 38th season of doing this at Williamsport, and he has a voice that I would kill for. He makes Barry White sound like a soprano.
You know, it's funny when you hear those wonderful voices and, you know, the guys who have that lilt to it. I was in a press box, I think, last week, and I yelled over to the guy during a commercial break, I love your voice. I do.
Well, Larry's been doing it for a long time, and both you and I have coached track and field in high school, and he, of course, is the voice for the District 4 track meets that are here. So he's been doing it a long, long time, and he does it very, very well. And, you know, he doesn't try to be a play-by-play guy, just the facts. I mean, he could write the book on PA announcing.
Yeah. You know, it's more than just the voice. The voice is great to have when you have the pipes. But it's, you know, knowing what to say and when to say it. Track meets, to me, were always very tricky. I know you do them at Southern Columbia. You know, the timing, the first call, the second call, you know, you keep the things moving, because track can really stretch itself out and become a very long event unless you're being very efficient. The play-by-play or the PA certainly has a lot to do with that.
I don't think Berwick has many adjustments to make in this second half. They just need to keep doing what they're doing.
Well, they made some mistakes early, and I think you get those out of your system. I think right now they should be playing with a tremendous confidence. You come up to Williamsport and you look at their stats, you look at their numbers, you look at what their people are, their level of talent. You're coming up into the big stadium with a you know, highly, it was a 6A team. And, you know, young players question. They haven't been through this before. But, boy, get your feet wet. Prove that you can play with this team. Dominate a half. And you're actually feeling bad. Hey, how did we give one up at the very end of this half? Let's get back on in and let's start moving away on the scoreboard from this team. We have the dogs that can do it. Let's have this second half completed and, you know, get a sort of a program win for CJ Curry.
Oh, we mentioned that Berwick has 2 wins coming into this game, and they've been competitive against some good teams. But this would be the first win over a winning team. Williamsport coming in at 4-3. And at this point in the season, that would be significant.
It would be. And lead you on into the next one at Selinsgrove, where it's a similar type. You're going into a quality program in quality facilities on the road. But you'd be going in with a tremendous confidence. And, boy, if you can raise it to 4 wins there and look at Tunkhannock and make it 5 wins, am I counting this right? Wow, that would be just a great season for one that started off struggling.
And, by the way, the Williamsport Selinsgrove score, which Selinsgrove won, was 21-20. So 21-14 Berwick at the half. We'll be back with the second half kickoff. You're listening to Bulldogs Football on Pop Radio.
Planning your next big event? Weddings, concerts, church festivals, even construction sites. Preferred Portables has you covered. Preferred Portables offers a luxury restroom trailer that even has hot water. No power? No problem. They can provide a generator to keep the lights on. They even provide sanitary service to campgrounds, parks, parties, and have 24-hour emergency service. Contact Preferred Portables to learn about event and contractor pricing. Check out their website, preferredportables.com. We're number 1 when you have to go number 2.
Family tradition is the foundation of Nespoli Jewelers, a family tradition started by Joseph Nespoli and continued by his grandson Jonathan. For 3 generations, Nespoli Jewelers have prided themselves on mixing fine with fashion. Jonathan can customize your engagement ring and wedding bands, design a unique piece of jewelry inspired by you, or simply help you find an affordable gift. Service, quality, creativity. Nespoli Jewelers. Yesterday's principles, today's creations. East Front Street in Berwick and online at nespolijewelers.com.
This is Berwick football coach CJ Curry. You're listening to Bulldogs football on Pop Radio.
Just about ready to go in the second half of this one with Berwick leading Williamsport by a score of 21-14. The Millionaires will get the football to start the second half. And boy, Berwick would be well advised defensively to get some pressure on this young quarterback, Teeman Williams, because with time, he is very, very dangerous. But he's also very dangerous because he can avoid the pressure.
Yeah, so if you come at him too hard, he's going to get around you or take it up inside and run for some yardage. He's been elusive in that regard. He's also been elusive getting out of the pocket and finding some receivers downfield. Now, again, for most of the half, Berwick has played outstanding defense. They've been penetrating, making tackles on running backs into backfield. They've pressured this quarterback to where he really got off to a challenging start. Just one of his first, let's say two of his first 6 passes completed. So, you know, they have the formula. They know what they want to do. Again, it's a unique defense. I haven't seen them run this 4-man line with the 3 linebacker look since early in the season. We saw it in the scrimmage season. It's what R.J. Haas wanted to go with as their base. But then in the early season, they were kind of vulnerable in the C-gap and had to go to the 8-man front. Here, they've committed to that 4-3. They bring linebackers up, and whether it's penetration from the linebackers or the linebackers showing like they might come and then opening seams for the defensive line, they just seem to always be getting people in the backfield. So there's been pressure on the quarterback. You just can't let him escape it if he's going to pass. And they've had great pressure just on the running plays with their meeting runners in the backfield. The running backs I mentioned in my numbers, 4 carries for -6 yards. And the quarterback relatively limited to just 8 yards.
And Andy, before we start this second half, you have 200 yards for Ty Wilkerson's totals in the first half. I don't have my Berwick record book with me. We'll see how my memory is. That's scary to think about, but I know the Berwick school record is by a man by the name of Mike Graybill, and I know it's somewhere around 306. So
306.
So just keep me in tune.
200 at halftime, on pace for a 400-yard game. Somehow Williamsport in big yardage games. Darrell Blackman, I think, was the best I've ever seen, Jim. That was at Berwick. It was pushing 350 yards in that game.
Exactly. That was 2002 at Crispin Field. Darrell Blackman went on to play at NC State, had 27 carries, 353 yards, and 3 touchdowns in a competitive game. This obviously is a competitive game, so I'll be surprised if we don't see a lot of Ty Wilkerson in this second half, which is about to begin. Williamsport will get the kickoff. They move from our left to our right. Caleb Yo's kick goes to the far side, headed toward the sideline, but it's taken by Samir Williams. He is hemmed in and brought down about the 23-yard line. That looked like it was going out of bounds, but he fielded it, and Williamsport will put it in play to start this second half, trailing Berwick by 7.
Rocco Romeo and Brock Sims got down there very well to square up and bring him down. Second specialty team tackle I've seen with Brock Sims in this game. Very active.
Ball at the 25-yard line. That's where the Millionaires will put it in play. They scored on their first possession of the opening half. They scored on their last possession of the second half. Berwick leads it by 7.
Berwick dominated time of possession, Jim, so it's even hard to get a gauge what their game plan is.
Williams out of the gun, back to throw, big pass rush. He's going to be sacked back at the 22-yard line.
Gabe Decker is one back there, and then again, number 56, who we've been seeing the entire game, that's J.J. Leonard, Jim. Very active defensively in that 4-man front. Right defensive tackle, right defensive end, as he's flushed a little bit in their direction. Call it a 2-yard loss and a sack.
Second down, they mark it at the 22. Helps on a sack early here.
They'll move them back 5 yards.
They'll take it back to the 17 and bring up second down and 18.
Yeah, there are a number of times in the first half I thought they were a little too deliberate in play selection, getting out of the huddle and getting things snapped. So I was worried for them that there'd be delay of games. They didn't get flagged for any. But here, early in this half, they're flagged for the 5-yarder.
Second and 18. Long down the far side, he has a man just overthrown at midfield once again. That man
just couldn't connect on that one.
Yeah. That's a lonely position for Julian Howie.
Oh, yes, it is.
He's played well tonight. He has an interception, almost had another, but that is a tough cover.
I think you let them catch it in front of you with that guy. Don't let him get behind you.
Third and long. Williams back to throw. Looking long. He's got a man, and he overthrows him. Oh, he had Trey Domschroeder open at the 40-yard line.
Tyreek Bradshaw tired from the last sprint down the Berwick sideline, so try Damschroeder down here on the Williamsport. Running a flag pattern, seemed to have that step, but again, it's difficult timing in high school to connect on those balls.
Julian Howie back in single safety for Berwick. Parker Johnson, who struggled a bit in the punting game tonight, standing back at the Millionaires' 2-yard line.
Still respecting his leg, though, with a very deep punt returner.
Snap is a good one. Berwick's coming hard. His kick very high and muffed by Julian Howie. The scramble is on. If Berwick has it, they're in good field position. They don't have it. Berwick turns it over for the third time in this game. Howie called for the fair catch and just muffed it.
He was so deep that he has to sprint up 10, 12, 15 yards to get in position. That sprint takes a little out of you. Your helmet's bouncing. You're looking up to the sky. He caught it a little too high above the numbers, and it bounces off the chest toward a Berwick player. But it's number 65, Jackson Thompson, a sophomore, who comes up with it for Williamsport.
And the Millionaires try to cash in on a break as they have it at their 39-yard line. Williams hands off and nothing doing. They continue to struggle to run the football as Whaley got the call, ran right into Chase Shuckers.
Chase Shuckers, again, their penetration. Skylar Neville coming in from the other side. And again, another first down run, another tackle in the backfield. This one loses just a yard.
Second down at 11. Clock running, 10-16 to go in the third. Berwick leading 21-14. Well, the way the Berwick offense has reacted, you really hate to have the turnover. That could have been a long, time-consuming drive for the Bulldogs. They'll have to wait. 3 receivers to the right. Berwick showing blitz. Williams back to throw. Pump fake. Hit as he gets it away. Downfield has a man diving attempt. Incomplete. Boy, Tyreek Bradshaw, diving attempt at the 35, almost a spectacular grab. The 9th grader Williams did a great job getting that off because he had a man right in his face.
Julian Howie needs to back off. You can't let this guy get the step on you, and that's at least the 3rd time he's been deep. He had another step. This time the ball's there on the dive. I thought it was going to be a completion, but as he hits the ground, it pops away.
Billy Hansen checks in a corner position for the Bulldogs on this 3rd down and 11. 3 receivers to the right. Williams is back to throw, pump fake. Here comes the rush. He gets it away. Downfield, the man wide open at the 25. The 20. Estrella makes the tackle down at the 10-yard line. Another huge play for the Millionaires. Looked like number 25, Samir Williams.
Yeah, that's who it was, Jim. He had the binoculars on it. But, you know, they're not completing short passes. Why play tight coverage? back off. Play the umbrella. The pros do it all the time, much to my dismay. I don't like it normally. But if they're getting behind you consistently, then back up the safeties, back up the corners. Let them catch it in front. Make the tackle.
52 yards on the reception. 1st and goal, Millionaires, as they try to tie it here in the 3rd. Williams has a running back to his right. It's Whaley. Toss sweep to Whaley. Looking for running room. Again, there is nothing there. This time, Skylar Neville from his defensive end position.
Yeah, and he was being held too, Jim. They wanted to get it outside of him, but they kind of grabbed, and he couldn't get wide anyway. Skylar Neville then goes inside to the C gap to make that tackle for the loss.
Loss of 4. Back to the 14-yard line. 2nd down and goal. Williamsport breaks the huddle. Where is Tyreek Bradshaw? He is wide to the left. And Berwick with single coverage out there. And Williams is looking that way, and he's got his man, and he's down to the 1-yard line.
Caught it in front that time off Billy Hansen. He slid inside, a short post, a skinny post. He's going to be able to get himself open with Hansen draped behind him, and then fighting for the end zone. He's down inside the 1-yard line.
13 yards on the reception. Bradshaw is uncoverable, particularly with just one man, and Berwick not going to a double team on him. From the 1. Williamsport, 1 yard away from the tie. Jamel Bailey is their biggest running back. He is going to take the snap, and he's going to take it himself ahead. There is a flag down the play. This could be a significant flag.
Jim, they pushed the quarterback.
No, that's not the call. The call, I believe, the official gave sideline warning. If that's the case, this would be the second. This would be a walk-off.
Oh. And I don't see where you'd call that with the ball down on the 1-yard line. There's no officials near the sideline. You're not really interfering with their movement up or down. They're discussing the call, as they've done with most penalties.
They have the ball on the 3. I don't know, why would it be on the 3?
Well, it wasn't on the 3 originally. It was about a football length from the goal. They're going to go over and talk to C.J. Curry and explain what happened, but why not march off the penalty? They're keeping the ball where it is. Williamsport wants to come out of the huddle.
Here's the 5-yard walk-off.
There's your 5-yard.
Boy, that is unforgivable penalty.
And what was it? Sideline warning?
Yes,
wow.
exactly.
Wow.
Because they had one earlier. Here's a 3rd down and goal from the 6. Williams has the snap, back to throw. He's going to run or try to run. He's going to be brought down at the 11-yard line. Chase Shuckers makes a huge play for the Bulldogs.
They've been coming with deliberate rush, Jim. They want to pressure him, hurry him, but they don't want to give him a lane to run. As he tried to advance it upfield, they took the sidelines away with the contain. Chase Shuckers certainly was there to stop him. Field goal attempt.
Parker Johnson will attempt it. The hold by Zion Hughes. The hold will be at the 17. This is a 27-yard field goal attempt. Snap, placement, kick is up, and the kick is no good. No good. He missed from 27 yards away. So Berwick dodges a bullet. Williamsport had it at the Bulldog 1-yard line with a 1st and goal. They come away with no points. 7:16 to go in the 3rd. Berwick continues to lead 21-14.
Now Berwick now needs to establish themselves, Jim. They've looked poor in this half. They've made mistakes. You flub a punt. You allow the defense to be a little too porous against the pass where they're getting behind you. And then in the red zone where you have to play it nose to nose, they get the man in front of them to take it down to the 1-yard line. So a big stand for Berwick. Now they need the offense to turn momentum.
Direct snap. Run off the right side. Gain is over the 40, the 45. The foot race by Ty Wilkerson down the far sideline. 10-5 in for a touchdown. A flag down the play back near the line of scrimmage. Holding against Berwick.
Thrown by the umpire. Wilkerson Takes that direct snap, hits off the right side between the right guard and the right tackle, and then fights. About 15, 20 yards into the run, it looks like he's going to fall forward, losing his balance, regains himself, and then the sprint. Jim, we'd have been pushing that Berwick all-time rushing record. With that run, you'd have been about 10 yards away from him.
So Wilkerson goes the distance from 80 yards out, and it is called back. Boy, some really significant penalty calls here in the third. Can you imagine a sideline warning when you have a first and goal at the 1?
Yeah, it was inside the 1 as well, Jim. A football length, if not just a little bit more. I don't even know if you call that one. Not when you're down there. You're not interfering with the officials.
Here's the call off the right side. It's Wilkerson looking for some yardage. Can't get much. But Berwick, Andy mentioned the time of possession, and we don't have that exactly, but Berwick dominated in the first half. But that run by Wilkerson was their first snap of this second half.
He's on the sideline catching his breath. Gavin Galusha taking that one off the right side. Seemed to be holding, the penalty yardage on the hold. That's what I'm seeing.
Second down and 17 at the 13. Hansen under center. Toss, sweep, left side. Galusha has some running room. The 20. And runs into a couple of tacklers at about the 26-yard line. So he'll pick up about 13. Manageable third down play coming.
Yeah, it is. They haven't done any passing. One that fell incomplete. I don't know if you do have to pass this one. You might go with a passing look with Billy Hansen, roll him out, and give him the option to run with it. It's a short 5 yards. A penalty would get you this, Jim. Maybe bark the signals first.
It's actually 3rd and 4. With Wilkerson, I don't bark anything and give him the ball.
Is he in?
He's on the field, and they're calling a timeout. 5:46 to go in the third. 21-14. Bulldogs, you're listening to Berwick Football and Pop Radio.
We're here at Ken Pollock in Berwick, and Ken is here with us. And Ken, you've been here for the last 10 years or so. Has Berwick welcomed you?
Absolutely. I think we align perfectly as a group with the Berwick community. We're community driven. We love servicing the people down here. We have great deals every day, whatever stage in life you might be at, looking for a car for your kid, family, whatever it might be. We have a huge selection here, and whatever you have, bring it down and we'll service it for you as well. Our people are very eager and very knowledgeable about the product that we do have, so we really want to help you out and make you a part of the Ken Pollock family.
This is Berwick football coach C.J. Curry. You're listening to Bulldogs football on Pop Radio.
Berwick called a timeout to talk about this 3rd down and 4. They have it at their own 26-yard line. They're moving from our right to our left in this third quarter. They lead Williamsport 21-14.
It'll be Wildcat with Ty Wilkerson as you expected, Jim.
And Berwick moves. They had 3 blocking backs to the right side, and one of them moved, and that will make it tougher. 3rd down and 9.
Considerably tougher. Ty Wilkerson, in his mind, could have been thinking plow through for 5 yards. Now you might have to use a little finesse. You might have to get the seam. When you get 5, then maybe you can drop the shoulders and fight for the last yardage, but that penalty's a killer.
3rd and 9. Wilkerson takes the snap off the right side. Williamsport's all over, but he turns the corner, and then he's hit, gets out of the tackle, gets the first down. He was hit 2 yards short of the first down, just bowled over a would-be tackler and picks up the first down.
It was a tough one to bowl over because the guy got low on him, down around the thighs, Jim, and I don't think Wilkerson could get that low with his pads. I think he kind of kicked his way through it and then broke away from the man and got the additional 8 or 10 yards.
He got 11 on a 3rd down and 9. First down at the 37. Wilkerson again off the left side over the 40 and gets out near the 45-yard line.
Boy, they block with confidence, Jim, when he's going to get the ball. There's a different mindset in that line. They know what he can do. They explode into their men. They get that first shove, push the defense back. He'll get a good 7 on that one.
2nd and 3, Berwick at their own 44-yard line. Clock running, 5:09 to go in the third. Bulldogs with a 7-point lead. 3 blocking backs to the right. Wilkerson will follow them. He's over midfield, breaks free at the 40, the 35, the 30, and Ty Wilkerson will not be caught. He goes the distance. There are no flags on the play. 56 yards for the score.
Wow. Up the middle, actually over to the right toward where those blocking backs are. There's going to be a scrum in there. Who's blocking who? Berwick has more blockers than defenders for Williamsport. He waits patiently for things to open. When it does open, he kicks himself through. And then once he's past that bunched up defense, he's unstoppable.
Extra point attempt coming from Caleb Yost, who's been perfect on the night. Ashton Smith will hold. Aiden George with the snap. High snap. Good job by Smith getting it down. The kick is up, and the kick is good. Timeout in the field, 4:47 to go in the third. Berwick 28, Williamsport 14. You're listening to Bulldogs football on Pop Radio.
Free checking for you and your business. No strings attached. Sounds perfect, right? First Keystone Community Bank offers free personal and business checking options with free Visa debit card, no monthly fees, no minimum balance, and no monthly qualifying requirements. Checking with no gimmicks, just what you need. They'll be celebrating 160 years of serving their communities with 19 full-service locations and convenient digital banking tools 24/7. First Keystone Community Bank. Local banking for the community we all call home. Online at fkc.bank. Equal Opportunity Lender, member FDIC.
This is Berwick football coach C.J. Curry. You're listening to Bulldogs football on Pop Radio.
4 minutes, 47 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Berwick leading 28-14. Ty Wilkerson had an 80-yard touchdown run called back. Several plays later, 56 yards. This one was not called back. He's closing in on a school record, and Berwick back to a 14-point pad as Yost will kick it off. Caleb has been kicking short, pooch variety, again, over the head of Simon Williams, and it goes to the 1-yard line. He has to pick it up there. He's trying to get outside right, and he's brought down about the 10-yard line.
And a great tackle it was. Skylar Neville got there. And Samir Williams tried to give him a good stiff arm toward the helmet to separate him. But Skylar Neville would not leave go of the arm or the jersey up near the armpit, hold him to the ground. So Berwick playing it coy. Always the pooch kick. Always the pooch kick to the 30 or the 25. All of a sudden now they let him boom one. They think it may go to the end zone. It stops dead. It's a live ball. They got to pick it up and try to return it. Berwick has outstanding defensive field position.
1st and 10, Williamsport at the 10, and a flag down the play. They broke the huddle with too many people, I think.
I think so too, Jim. That's the way I saw it. One coming out of the huddle went to the sideline and off. Can't really do that because the defense thinks they need to cover him. So it's either 5 yards or half the distance.
Which is the same thing here.
Yep, just about.
So it'll be 1st and 15 for Williamsport, back at their 5.
The sack would be a safety.
Williams, right at his goal line, has the snap, back to throw. He's in trouble in the end zone. Gets out of there, now throws off his back foot. The ball is
intercepted.
Picked off Julian Howie one more time at the Williamsport 41-yard line.
Gabe Decker had a great pass rush. In fact, I felt he was being held, and holding in the end zone when your quarterback's there often can result in a safety. But they don't throw the flag, not flagrant enough. Quarterback heaves it deep downfield, but this time there's good coverage deep. His arm can't reach the receiver, and Julian Howie with inside position goes high and takes it away.
Julian Howie played football in junior high, has not played since, comes out for his senior year. That is his second interception. Berwick takes over at the Williamsport 40-yard line.
Ty Wilkerson with 274 yards, Jim, by our unofficial numbers, 32 yards away from a Berwick school rushing record.
He is the lone running back. Hansen under center. Gives to Wilkerson off the right side, and Ty will get second effort out of bounds. Boy, you just can't call him down.
And Chase Shucker's pushing him from behind, and he's a big boy. Gabe Decker kept kicking out the blocker who had the best chance of tackling him. So a play that looks like it's going to be stopped at the line of scrimmage becomes a 6-yard gain.
2nd and 4, Bulldogs. 4:23 to go in the third as they try to break this one open. They lead at 28-14.
280 yards rushing for Ty Wilkerson.
Mike Pearson on the field checking with the officiating crew.
Don't know what the issue would be.
There's no official timeout. Berwick goes back to their huddle. Line of scrimmage, the Williamsport 34-yard line. 2nd down and 4, Bulldogs.
A little more time for Ty Wilkerson to catch his breath. He's been doing a lot of running in this game.
He is the lone running back. Hansen under center. Fake to Wilkerson. Hansen will keep it. Tries to get outside left. Does so. Cuts it inside. Gets down to about the 24-yard line.
Flag thrown in at the point of the tackle, Jim. There might have been a late hold. We'll have to see.
Or perhaps a face mask.
That could be, but I think it was coming out before he was being brought down. Let's see. Any preliminary signal? He might have had the chains. I believe he had about 5 yards on the run. Not in any hurry to tell us. Marching it against Berwick.
Holding against the Bulldogs.
But probably about 5 yards into the run. So where it was a 2nd and 4. Oh, he must have had more on that run than I thought. They're only going to bring it back. Well, they are stretching. I'll let you call it.
It's 2nd down and 7 from the 37. Wilkerson back in the Wildcat. Off the right side. Good blocking. Plowing ahead to the 26-yard line.
Measure it out, Jimmy, because he does get the chains, and they're going to give him a new set of downs. We're watching carefully on the yardage being gained by Ty Wilkerson. He was a 280 prior to that run.
11 yards on the carry. There is a Berwick player down on the field, so we have an injury timeout. And Andy, there's nothing to minimize the performance by Wilkerson tonight because it's been tremendous and it might even be historic before this third quarter's out. But that offensive line is doing its job.
You know, sometime when you know you have a powerhouse running back, it just motivates you even more. Let's get into the blocks. This guy's going to make it happen. And plus, Berwick comes out with a number of formations that widens things and puts extra blockers at the point of attack. Sometime if they're running in the direction of the tight end, there's 3 H-backs outside of him as well as the whole interior of the line inside of him. And many teams don't quite know how to adjust to a formation like that. So he could be running over the tight end, and there could be 6 blockers on 3 defenders. You get that push, he waits for the seam, and then his power.
J.J. Leonard was the injured player, but appeared to be okay by the time he got to the sideline. Berwick 1st and 10. After that 11-yard run by Wilkerson, they have it at the Williamsport 26. Wilkerson takes the Wildcat snap off the left side, breaks free at the 15, at the 10, fumbled the football. Williamsport is on at the 9-yard line. 4th turnover of the game by the Bulldogs.
He just lost his concentration as he's going down to the ground after about 10 yards of the gain, Jim. Falling toward the ground, the last man strips it away, as it looked like he might even be able to stumble on into the end zone, but such is not the case.
Well, I guess you have to give him that yardage, which would be 17 yards to the 9-yard line, where Williamsport takes over with 3:36 to go in the third, and Berwick leading it 28-14.
Then give him 308 yards, and our belief was that Mike Graybill had the school record at 306 rushing yards. If our information is right, Ty Wilkerson now has the greatest single-game rushing statistic in Berwick history.
And considering they've played since 1888, that's pretty impressive. As they pitch to the left side, and Williamsport cannot run the football. Lost back to the 4-yard line.
Berwick's been very effective with its penetration. A late flag thrown by the back judge. way after the play, and from way far away he saw something, probably flagrant. Not going to see a holding from that far away. Got to be a 15-yarder. Ball's on the 4.
Personal foul against Williamsport. That's the third one on them in this game, so it'll be half the distance.
From the 4 to the 2.
You know, Andy, let's see if Ty Wilkerson can get that 353 yards that Darrell Blackman put on the Bulldogs back in 2002.
No reason he can't.
Boy, Williams from his own end zone in trouble, fires a pass and has a completion at the 5. Braden Schaefer stays with the man who gets out to about the 10-yard line. He'll pick up about 8.
Yeah, Trey Schroeder catches the ball on and out. He eludes the man covering him by a spin move to the inside. He'll just get back to the original line of scrimmage.
Third down. And a little less than 10. Just short of their own 10-yard line for the Millionaires.
They've been able to get people like Kyreek Bradshaw behind this defense.
Third and long. Berwick coming on a blitz on the far side. They get him in the end zone. Is the ball loose? It should be a safety. The referee now indicates that it is a safety. I think it was
Skylar
Neville from his defensive end position. Gets the hit. Berwick will get 2 to add to their lead.
They just didn't block him, Jim. They just backed off a little bit like an outside linebacker. But, boy, someone's got to pick him up. He's the containment man. He's coming in like, I can't let this quarterback get wide of me. And he all of a sudden sees, hey, I have a free shot. He's looking to his left. I'm coming in on the blind side, and I'm going to get him. A sack for a safety. And all of a sudden, this lead jumps from a 2 touchdown to where they need 3 scores, 2 touchdowns plus to take it away. So things are looking very good for Berwick in what would be a truly significant win for C.J. Curry's team.
And again, we pointed this out before the game. Berwick has a couple of wins over teams that are really struggling. They've been competitive against teams with winning records, but they have not had a win over a team with a winning record, and Williamsport came into this one with a 4-3 mark. And now, after the safety, Parker Johnson will be kicking off from the Williamsport 20. And Julian Howie, and yes, that man, Ty Wilkerson, deep for Berwick.
Kicking it from a tee. You often have the option if you want to punt this. Yes, they feel with this strong leg, they're going to let him approach it soccer style and kick it from 9 yards with a runner.
Johnson's kick goes to the Wilkerson, who muffs it, picks it up at the 22. Wilkerson to the 30, gets outside, and is forced out of bounds across the way, just short of the 35-yard line. So Berwick gets it.
Still managed to make 3 people miss before going out of bounds. One coming at him, he olays him and steps right. The next one comes down, he olays him and steps right. And the last one he olays and steps out of bounds.
You know, when they go through the film after this one, that would be interesting. I don't know what good would come of figuring that out, but just how many missed tackles attempted on Ty Wilkerson.
I think instead of missed tackles, broken tackles.
Now Wilkerson gets a breather. Galusha gets the ball. It's no breather for the opposition as he goes off the right side over the 40 out near the 44-yard line.
Yeah, Aiden Toomer able to pull him down. But as you mentioned, Galusha is no break. He's going to run that C-gap type of sweeping action and get his 8 yards. And he'll extend his numbers, which were healthy at halftime. 62 yards, give him 70. He can hit 100 yards in this game.
2nd and 2, Berwick at their 42. Center Gavin Jones over the football. Hanson under center. Gives to Galusha off the right side. Has the first down as he gets out to the 48-yard line.
Give him 74 yards on the game now with a good strong run. sometime in the mind, you're looking and saying, hey, it's 2nd and 2. My first goal was to get the chains. Ran the C gap, made sure he got that, met with contact, and drug a man for another 2 yards.
5 yards for Gavin Galusha, the sophomore, and Berwick has the first down at their own 47-yard line. Leading 30-14. Time winding down here in the third. 1:13 to go. Blocking back to the left. Galusha, the lone running back. The give is to Galusha off the left side and gets to midfield before he's brought down there. He'll pick up about 3 on the play. 2nd down and 7 Bulldogs.
Give him 78 yards on the game. That time running the A gap. Left side of the center's leg between the center and the left guard. Been primarily hitting out in the C gaps a little bit wider with his sweeping action, cutting it inside.
Wilkerson checks in. Perhaps the last play of this third quarter. A Bulldog trying to get his shoe tied.
Struggling. Might need a... Or will they run the quarter out?
No, they've stopped it with 26.5 seconds.
Did the officials stop it? Not a Berwick timeout.
No. But are they making the player trying to tie his shoe go off?
Yeah, and it's a player who's had a great game, Jim. I've really noticed the effectiveness of J.J. Leonard. He's the man who'll have to go off. They'll replace him for the play.
Mike Perry comes in replacing him. 2nd and 7, Berwick from midfield. Hanson under center. Wilkerson, the running back. And Berwick gets some movement on the right side of the line.
I think they decided during the stoppage, hey, let's change the cadence. Let's go on the 2nd or 3rd hut instead of the 1st like we've always been going. And as much as you plant that in people's heads, there's sort of an automatic movement. 2 guys up on the right, whether it's tight end and right tackle, both moved.
And that is the end of the third quarter play with the score, Berwick 30, Williamsport 14. You're listening to Bulldogs football on Pop Radio.
This is Mike from M&M Carpet One in Bloomsburg. Is this the first time you've shopped with us? Let me explain why you should shop at a Carpet One store. We have over 1,300 store buying power. Carpet One stores sell more floor covering than the 2 big box stores do combined. That means not only do you get the best price, but you get to work with flooring professionals throughout the entire process, from estimates to installation. No one will give you more for your flooring dollar than M&M Carpet One in Bloomsburg.
Family tradition is the foundation of Nespoli Jewelers, a family tradition started by Joseph Nespoli and continued by his grandson Jonathan. For 3 generations, Nespoli Jewelers have prided themselves on mixing fine with fashion. Jonathan can customize your engagement ring and wedding bands, design a unique piece of jewelry inspired by you, or simply help you find an affordable gift. Service, quality, creativity. Nespoli Jewelers. Yesterday's principles, today's creations. East Front Street in Berwick and online at nespolijewelers.com.
W234BH West Hazelton at 94.7, WBWX W242CY Berwick at 96.3, W282CO Bloomsburg at 104.3, and W288CF Danville at 105.5. Your home for Berwick Bulldogs football is Pop Radio, a Seven Mountains media station. WHLM Bloomsburg.
The distance on the first play of the fourth quarter, Wilkerson goes 55 yards for the score. There are no flags on the play.
Move his total, Jim, to 363, so he's gone past the Darrell Blackman total that we've seen as the biggest total we've ever watched in a high school game. Good to see him at least get one good carry. You don't want to see him set a record if it is the school rushing record on a ball that he fumbled and just earned the record by 2 yards. Add 55 to that, make it 363. There's a truly impressive number if I've ever seen one.
And by the way, the total that Andy mentioned, Darrell Blackman, back in 2002, 353 yards in a game at Crispin Field. But Andy, as far as you and I witnessing running backs, you missed somebody.
College running back?
Nope.
Who have I missed?
You missed.
Oh, Henry Hynoski?
Henry Hynoski. 400 plus. And hey, we still have 11:48 to go in this game.
We've seen some great ones, Jim. We've had a wonderful career of watching football players with such excellence in our area.
Berwick needs to get a player on the field. They said 2 started on. No, just 1. Caleb Yost has been perfect in extra points. The hold by Ashton Smith. Good snap. Kick is up, and the kick is good. 11:48 still to go in this one. Berwick 37. Williamsport 14. You're listening to Bulldogs football on Pop Radio.
Are you on the market for a new set of wheels? Once you find it, whether it's a functional grocery getter or a midlife crisis hot rod, the tag and title experts at Berwick Notary in Berwick are open 6 days a week, so you can be rest assured you'll be on the road and legal in no time. Berwick Notary can transfer a title, register an ATV or any kind of vehicle, and they're the only notary in Columbia County that registers boats. Berwick Notary's been serving the Bulldog community for over 40 years, and they proudly support the Berwick Bulldogs. Check out their Facebook page, and go Dogs!
This is Berwick football coach C.J. Curry. You're listening to Bulldogs football on Pop Radio.
Okay, you got it. 46 seconds. No running back in the history of Berwick football, which goes back to 1888, has ever had a better night rushing the football than junior Ty Wilkerson.
363 yards and counting. It just depends how much they want to run him. I think at this point, if they're aware of the record and especially aware that he's, broken it by almost 50 yards, I think you rest him up, save him a little bit for Selinsgrove. And Jim, a Berwick team that seemed to be bottom rung in district seeding, I don't know if I'm a top-rated team wants to face this new Berwick look.
Yost with the kickoff again, a pooch to the short side. It's Tyreek Bradshaw and a beautiful tackle by Gavin Galusha back at the 27-yard line.
Glad you can see it, Jim. Oddly, 2-3 people like to stand right in front of me here.
And a flag down after the play, unsportsmanlike against Berwick is the initial indication.
Something said or some pushing after the fact.
Well, it's been a great night for the Bulldogs. The coaching staff won't be enamored with that.
No, you're not. You never like to see that.
So Williamsport will have it with 11:43 remaining in the game. No scoring by the Millionaires in that third, but boy, they were close. The ball at the 1-yard line.
5-yard penalty for sideline infringement. Moved them back out of that easy scoring range. Back penalties have been a big story in this one, Jim. Penalties, turnovers. We saw safety, which you rarely see. We saw live ball being kicked. It kind of stopped down on the half-yard line. A lot of unique plays.
Williamsport, 1st and 10 at their own 45-yard line. Tevin Williams, the 9th grader, gives the ball off to Williams, tries to give it off. The ball is loose on the ground, and looks like Williamsport got on it.
Yeah, I think so. I think they wanted to hand it to Samir Williams. But it was one of those rides where is he going to give it or is he going to keep it? And I think Samir wanted to keep it, wanted to pull it out, and I think Tevin Williams wanted to pull it back himself on an RPO look.
2nd down and 11. Millionaires at their 44. Williams gives the ball off to Giovanni White. He's going nowhere. Rocco Romeo is the first one there, and he's joined by 3 other Bulldogs who have owned the line of scrimmage.
They really have, especially on the running plays, Jim. Gabe Decker was crashing in from left defensive end. Rocco Romeo angling through the A-gap. They both kind of meet and sandwich Giovanni White with a hard hit. He'll lose another yard.
3rd and 12. Millionaires at their own 43-yard line. Again, the Bulldogs on the road again next Friday. Take on the Seals of Selinsgrove. back on the schedule. Berwick showing blitz on this 3rd and 12. Williams back to throw. Looks ahead, has running room if he wants it. And he does want it, and he's got the first down. And a flag flies. And another one.
At the end of the run, when the quarterback's deciding to veer from the numbers to out of bounds rather nonchalantly.
I think it had something to do with blocking for that quarterback.
I think so. I think a receiver was coming back and must have pushed a potential tackler in the back. So it was a considerable run of about 18 yards. But from the point of the blocking infraction, they'll move this back.
And it's one of those really frustrating penalties because the run was what the run was.
Yeah, it was going to be there. It didn't matter. The block was irrelevant as the quarterback's heading out of bounds. It'll become about a 3-yard gain instead of a 15 or 18-yard gain.
3rd and 8. Williams back to throw. Bulldogs in pursuit. He's tripped up and then covered by Rocco Romeo.
He was backpedaling or trying to run backwards, and he lost his footing. Now, again, Berwick's coming so hard that he's kind of running in desperation and trips himself up. Lost about 9 yards before Rocco Romeo then, lands on him. Kind of an automatic football move. Nothing flagrant there.
Parker Johnson back to do the punting. Julian Howie isn't buying the fact that they're punting. He isn't back very far at all.
Might have been told to let it bounce. He had one bounce off his chest a little bit earlier.
And takes a great roll. Williamsport is concerned and will roll dead near the Berwick 12-yard line. So that's where the Bulldogs will put it in play. With 9:14 to go and Berwick leading 37-14. You mentioned Julian Howie. What an eventful night he's had.
He really has.
He had an interception. He was beat on a long pass. He had another interception. He muffed a punt. He's been all over this field tonight.
Yeah, I think in your mind, you got to think of the good ones, Jim. Try to put the others behind you. The coaches will get on you for some of them. You should never get beaten deep, even though, especially when you have such a dangerous receiver. You always stay deeper.
And in his defense, he has not played a lot of defense this season.
No.
But he's there at a safety along with steady captain Alex Estrella.
Mm-hmm.
But now Berwick's on offense. And it has been a terrific offense led by Ty Wilkerson, who takes the direct snap and tries the left side and has stood up, but not before he gets to about the 15-yard line. He'll pick up a couple.
He will. That makes it 365 yards rushing by my count. I always wonder who's official on this. Of course, the newspapers like to see things, and they have a little more time than I have to get the numbers. And often teams keep their own stats on the sidelines, and you can walk along with the chains and be very official.
2nd and 7. Wilkerson, the Wildcat snap, flags fly as he is brought down about the 18-yard line. But check the flag, holding against Berwick. They had a lot of those tonight.
Wilkerson's got to be getting rather tired and fatigued, Jim. I don't know how much longer I'd keep him in and run him. You have a big game coming up next week. You don't want him limping into that. You have other people you can run. Can't do much better than setting an all-time career rushing record that stood from the 1800s.
He goes off and he's limping slightly. We might have seen the last of him. 8:34 to go in the game.
And on the play, they'll move Berwick back half the distance, probably on a hold.
So if it is the end for him, your numbers, Andy?
I have 365 yards.
So Berwick back at their own 7-yard line with 8:24 to go. Galusha the call. Off the left side, over the 10. Gavin Galusha out near the 15-yard line. Pretty good carry for the sophomore, who's had a nice game in his own right.
Yeah, I'm trying to see what it is. 6-7 yards on that, Jim. If it's 7, I have him with 85 yards, and since he's probably going to be the primary ball carrier the rest of the way, he should finish with the century mark in rushing.
Clock running, 7:50 to go. Alex Estrella, wide receiver to the right. I formation behind Hansen, who keeps the ball himself off the left side. Battles for what he can, and what he can is close to the 20-yard line.
They stood him up, and he just wouldn't go down, and he almost threw a forearm out there to kind of push the tackler away. Oh, an aggressive run by the quarterback with a nice fake on the inside. Again, he can be a very dangerous weapon in this offense.
4th and 1. Berwick has not punted in this game. They may not here. With the lead at 37-14 and 7 minutes to go. And they've been running the ball so effectively, and they need just a yard from the 21. They come to the line of scrimmage, and flags and whistles for a timeout.
Don't know.
Don't see a flag.
These officials aren't in a hurry to let us know. I would think Berwick might have, got thoughtful on that 4th and 1, and maybe they took a timeout, but who knows?
Well, we will as soon as they tell us, we'll know.
Berwick's rehuddling.
Referee,
they're not moving the chains.
Nothing.
Maybe Berwick didn't like the play.
Well, they didn't call timeout. So here we go. 4th and 1 again. Galusha, the call off the left side, dives for the first down out to the 25-yard line.
And they put power backs in, Jim. We've seen a good game. You don't mention it much, but between Aiden George and Everett Snyder, those guys with their blocking, whether from fullback with the running back or whether they're out as H-backs, they do a yeoman's type of job. Big fellas, get that running start, charge into the seams, push people out of the way.
1st and 10. Berwick at their 24. Galusha the call. Off the right side, Gavin Galusha will get up to the 30, 6 yards for him.
6 yards puts him at 92 by my count. And again, you're going to see a steady diet of Gavin Galusha, even if it is between the tackles. Expect him to get the majority of the carries from here on in.
Boy, Berwick's going to have a monster number on the ground in this one.
Yeah, yes, they will.
Ashton Smith, I believe, is in there at the quarterback spot now. Galusha the call off the left side. He'll get to about the 33-yard line.
Tackled rather violently by Anthony Manley coming in. Grabbed him up high at the shoulder pads and helmet, spun him to the ground as Gavin Galusha dropped the shoulders. But he'll get positive yardage.
So Ty Wilkerson is done for the night. Looks like Billy Hansen in as well. Ashton Smith, the junior, who was the starting quarterback at the beginning of the season, is at the controls as Berwick has a first down at their own 34-yard line. Bulldogs getting their first win of the season over a team with a winning record and doing it convincingly here tonight as we're under 5 minutes to go. Galusha hit behind the line and will lose a yard back to the 33-yard line.
Real nice play by Samir Williams, Jim, and we've called his name a lot for Williamsport defensively. Quite active, moves around well, good solid fundamental tackle there.
Boy, things don't get any easier for Williamsport. Next week, they're on the road to Hollidaysburg, a team that's having a very, very good season. In fact, I'll be interested to hear the Selinsgrove Hollidaysburg score. We'll go to Ashland in our post game here. Smith under center, keeps himself off the left side. Lots of running room. 45 midfield. Ashton Smith gets all the way to the Williamsport 40-yard line. Good ball fake by Smith, and when he turned the corner, there was no one there.
Yeah, almost a bootlegging action, but it seemed like two runners were coming off to the right. He faked it, almost the old ball on the hip, and take it the other way without much blocking. but he showed nice speed to get to the corner and extend it down there before being knocked out of bounds.
27 yards for Ashton Smith. 1st and 10, Berwick at the Williamsport 40 as we have exactly 4 minutes remaining in the game. Blocking backs to the right, double tight end. Galusha gets the call off the right side. Gavin Galusha gets a good push from behind and gets down to the 30-yard line. Looks like a first down.
And that'll be his 100-yard game, Jim. Stretch it out. If it's 11, that'll have him at 106 yards on the game.
And he leaves and Brock Sims replaces him. So Berwick's starting to think of next week in the game at Selinsgrove. They have a first down. 2 first-year coaches next week. Head coaching, Matt Wenrick of Williamsport, former fullback for Danny Hale at Bloomsburg. Of course, C.J. Curry at Berwick. Sims gets the call off the left side. Brock Sims has had some good games running. He picks up about 4 there to the 25-yard line.
Yeah, Rocco Romeo's in there with one of the other fullbacks, and they're setting them out left or right as sort of H-backs or wing-backs, but they cheat them inside the tight end, cheat them outside the tight end, and often it's the point of attack. So you have your lineman and tight end blocking, and then you have these two again right at the point of attack, and then you pound in with the runner, Brock Sims. You usually have success.
Second down call coming. Berwick at the 25. Smith gives to Brock Sims, tripped up as he tries the right side, gets about 4 to the 21.
Samir Williams yet again getting in there and tripping him up. He has a good nose for the football, Jim. Locates it from his linebacker spot. I believe he's the man down on the ground. They'll take a little stoppage to go out and tend to him, but he's played a really nice ball game.
2:19 to go in this one. This will be the Bulldogs' 3rd win of the season in the first year as head coach of C.J. Curry. But I think, Andy, the most significant of the wins to this point. I mean, they were expected to beat Hanover, expected to beat Nanticoke, were competitive, but lost to other winning teams. And you had to look at it and think of this one as a toss-up.
Yeah.
And they've just dominated. I mean, they've completely dominated.
I even thought of Berwick as the underdog, looking at what Williamsport did early. But the growth of this team, Jim, you know, when you go from the scrimmages we watched through the early season, they played some tough teams, but, you know, they looked good enough, but not polished enough, not disciplined enough, not used to the system. And they've just kept evolving and getting better and better.
Samir Williams went off under his own power. Berwick at the Williamsport 21 as we go under 2 minutes remaining in the game. Ashton Smith looking at that play clock. Ball goes to Brock Sims off the left side, and Sims will get down to about the 15-yard line for a Berwick first down.
Yeah, pretty much a vanilla type of offense, but yet you like what you see of the coach. Aware, hey, we just want to run this one out. He's going to watch that play clock tick on down, take his time in the huddle, take his time at the line of scrimmage. Brock Sims running between the tackles, the line exploding into their blocks and getting as much as they can.
Sims is a sophomore, 5'9", 165 pounds, came into the game, averaging over 7 yards a carry on 23 attempts. And doing well here as Berwick has it at the Williamsport 15 with 1:13 to play.
Very tight splits, and they're going to kneel down.
So the Bulldogs, they'll take the knee. We'll have to take another 1 or 2, but a significant win for them on the road. Came in as the 7th seed for the postseason playoffs, which will start in a couple of weeks. That means if they stay there, they probably locked into a situation where they play at Scranton Prep, but who knows? They get this win. If they get another win next week, closing out against Tunkhannock, they may improve their seeding. One more snap for Ashton Smith. He takes it, Clock will wind down, and Berwick will celebrate a significant win on the road, taking on a team with a winning record in Williamsport and winning handily. The final score, Berwick 37, Williamsport 14. Stay with us. Andy will have the significant stats. Ashley will bring you up on the scoreboard, and I'll give you the scoring. You're listening to Berwick Football on Pop Radio.
When you've been sidelined by an injury, all you want is to get back in the game. Getting to the finish line starts with Lehigh Valley Orthopedic Institute, the region's leader in sports medicine. We use the most advanced technology for faster, better results, so elite and everyday athletes can compete like champions once again. Call 833-LV-ORTHO. Lehigh Valley Orthopedic Institute. Your health deserves a partner.
When you're shopping for insurance, you might say, "What? Huh?"
I'm so over this.
But what you really need to say is something that could actually help.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
When you get a local State Farm agent, they can help make it easy and help you choose the coverage you need. Plus, they're available online, over the phone, or even in person.
I'm so into this.
Visit your Bloomsburg State Farm agent, Sean Black, at insurebloomsburg.com.
For over 50 years, you've trusted Overhead Door to provide the finest quality residential and commercial garage door products, installation, and service. With winter right around the corner, your garage doors need a tune-up. For only $99 for one or $125 for multiple doors, they'll check, lube, and adjust your garage doors and openers so they operate smoothly. Call for their seasonal tune-up special, Overhead Door of Berwick. They're more than just doors. See their 5-star rating on their Google business page or visit ohdberwick.com.
Berwick Dental Arts, 9th Street in Berwick, is proud to be keeping generations of beautiful smiles across Bulldog Nation. Dr. Susan Ermish, Dr. Nathaniel Fluke, and their staff practice general and restorative dentistry, and they're open Monday through Friday. Whether you need a simple cleaning or a complicated procedure, Berwick Dental Arts will see that you have the best smile so you can be your best. Berwick Dental Arts, 9th Street in Berwick, is a proud supporter of Berwick Bulldogs football. Visit their website at berwickdentalarts.com.
Stop. Don't make your next car payment. Instead, get a new vehicle at Alexander Family Buick GMC in Bloomsburg. Because right now, we're offering a 120% of Kelley Blue Book trade value buyback bonus, up to $2,500. Just find the vehicle you want from our huge selection of new Buicks and GMCs and get 120% of KBB trade-in value for yours. It's the 120% of KBB buyback bonus event going on now at Alexander Family Buick GMC in Bloomsburg. The lowest
Mason's
price
Monogram has the largest
guaranteed.
selection of Bulldog items in Berwick. Family owned with more than 35 years experience. And new Bulldog wear for every age, including t-shirts, sweatshirts, jackets, polos, hats, and more. They even make online fundraising easy for you. Stop in today to discuss your next fundraising opportunity. You can also shop at masonsmonogramming.com for their new inventory and select in-person pickup or shipping right to you. Follow their Instagram at Mason's Monogramming for their latest new items. Mason's Monogram Service in Berwick. Let them personalize for you.
This is Berwick football coach C.J. Curry. You're listening to Bulldogs football on Pop Radio.
CJ Curry down below us, talking to his team that's gathered around him. They are in a joyous mood after a 37-14 convincing win over Williamsport here at STA Stadium. For an update on other scores, let's go to Ashlyn Walshaw.
Thanks, Jim. Bloomsburg beat Shikellamy 39-29. Mifflinburg defeats Central Columbia 56-0. Dallas currently leads Crestwood 37-7. Danville defeats Loyalsock 28-3. Pittston area currently leads Hazleton area 20-14 in the fourth. Hughesville currently leads Warrior Run 29-22 in overtime. Wyoming area leads Lake Lehman 35-14. Wyoming area defeats Lake Lehman 35-14. Shamokin defeated Lewisburg 17-12. Scranton defeats Mid Valley 28-0. Southern Columbia defeats Montoursville 19-16. Mount Carmel defeats Central Mountain 49-20. Honesdale defeats Danacoke 56-7. Hollidaysburg currently leads Selinsgrove 36-14. And Tunkhannock defeats Montrose 31-0. Now back to Jim and Andy.
Thank you very much. But here it is a convincing 37-14 Berwick win as Williamsport actually scored first as they got the football. The first play for freshman quarterback Tevin Williams in his first start was a sack, but his second play was a 57-yard. Wilkerson as Berwick. Quarter. Gavin Galusha with a 2-yard touchdown run, capping a 7-play, 64-yard drive. Biggest play on the way, a 28-yard run by Ty Wilkerson. Caleb Yost with the extra point. Berwick led 14-7. They added to that lead with 5:39 to go in the second, capping an 8-play, 71-yard drive on a 3-yard touchdown run by Ty Wilkerson. He had runs of 18 and 22. Timeouts, but that freshman Tevin Williams led him downfield and threw an 8-yard touchdown pass to at the break. And then in the third quarter, Berwick resulted in a penalty, took them back to the 6. There was a sack. They tried a field goal. It was no good. They missed a golden opportunity to score. When Berwick got it, finally in that third quarter, Ty Wilkerson went 80 yards for a touchdown, but it was called back because of a penalty. 6 plays later, Ty Wilkerson goes 56 yards for a touchdown with 4:47 to go in the third. And with the extra point by Caleb Yost, Berwick extends their lead to 28-14. Then Williamsport deep in their own territory. Tevin Williams goes back in his end zone to throw. Skylar Neville wraps him up for a safety, extending the lead for Berwick to 30-14. The only scoring in the fourth quarter came on the first play of the quarter. Ty Wilkerson takes a pitch, goes 55 yards off the left side. Yost with the extra point. That was all the scoring in the game. Plenty of scoring for Berwick. They beat Williamsport 37-14. Stats, Andy Lickney.
Now, total offense for Williamsport, 157. On the ground, it was minus 27 yards. In the air, 184 for a net of 157. For Berwick, total yards, 531 yards, all on the ground. Just an amazing night. An amazing night. And start off with Ty Wilkerson. Jim, we've mentioned it. 28 carries, 365 yards. Again, by my count. This is one you need to say, who does the official counting? Is it the team? Is it the sports writer? Who has the best look at it? Who gets it the most accurate? But boy, it's one for the record books. 28 rushes, 365 yards for Ty Wilkerson. Gavin Galusha had a strong game running the ball. He finishes with 20 carries for 106 yards. So you can see why Berwick was up at 531 yards in rushing offense. Brock Sims contributes 3 carries for 12. The team takes 5 for -7, a number of flubby plays. Ashton Smith carried once in the fourth quarter, 27 yards on his bootleg run. And then Billy Hansen, 5 carries for 28 yards for him. He only attempted 1 pass. That fell incomplete. So nothing in the passing, but on the ground, it's got to be a record there too. 62 rushes, 531 yards, a 100-yard game for Gavin Galusha, 20 carries for 106. But the big number, Ty Wilkerson, a lot of it out of the Wildcat, a lot of it out of the backfield, 28 carries, 365 yards. And the defense was no slouch. We mentioned throughout the game, it seemed whenever Williamsport wanted to run, they were being met in the backfield. And the numbers show that. The rushing for Williamsport, 19 carries, minus 27 yards. The running backs combined for 9 carries for minus 16. Devin Williams, the quarterback, 10 carries for minus 11. Promising young freshman. Liked what I saw of his talent. He was 9 of 16 passing, but he did have 2 interceptions, but a total of 184 yards. Kyrique Bradshaw, he's the real deal at wide receiver. 4 catches for 106. Trey Damschroeder contributed 3 catches for 25. Samir Williams caught one for 52 yards. Very nice play there. And Giovanni White caught one for just a yard. 184 on the ground, but in the air, minus 27 on the ground. A net of 157 for Williamsport. 531 yards all on the ground for Berwick. Jim, one of those memorable Williamsport games yet again.
Yeah, not the first win for C.J. Curry. He had 2 prior to this one, but in his first season, by far the most significant.
Yeah, this was a big one. You're going against a name program. Where are they in state rankings? Like number 4 all time, I believe. With the 7th, yeah, but way up there. Berwick also up there, Mount Carmel, Easton among those state leaders. But, the history of the program, the people they have had in, the start to their season was very, very strong. They competed very well with teams like Selinsgrove. So to get the win here, and not just get a win, not eke out a 21-20 game, to dominate the way they did. I mean, they're a machine right now, Jim. If I'm one of those top teams in the districts, I don't want to match up with Berwick's seed. I really don't. This is a team that's going to be very hard to stop.
Berwick wins significantly. Before we leave you, I want to remind you the Berwick Football Champions Club is selling tickets for your chance to win a rare piece of art depicting legendary coach George Curry by Topps card artist Vincent Wood. Chances are just $5 each. They can be purchased at the Bulldogs apparel tent opposite the home field house at Crispin Field. They can also be bought with cash in downtown Berwick at either Georgie's Bagels or Mason's Monogramming through October 25th. On that night, Berwick plays Tunkhannock at home, and 5 winners are drawn. With the loss, Williamsport drops to 4-4. They are at Hollidaysburg next Friday night at